play it or watch, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. Join me and my co-host Chris Lee from WREL TV as our podcast Panthers Playbook rolls on this offseason, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Carolina Panthers news as we break down the NFL draft, insights on free agents and prospects, plus all the inside information on the offseason. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Accidents happen, and they can happen at any age. That's why Chapel Hill Family and Cosmetic Dentistry provides complete everyday dental care for your entire family, from the littlest athlete to adults ready for a healthier, more confident smile.
Oh, nice.
Dr. James Ferguson and his team are here for everything from routine care and cleanings to advanced treatments, so everyone can enjoy a strong, healthy smile. Schedule your visit today at chapelhilldds.com.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the NCHSAA, are the 198,000 high school sports students in North Carolina. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
We don't want you on our team. You're too slow and fat.
This is weight bias.
Don't you care how you look?
Those with the serious disease called obesity face weight bias every day.
You're not the right fit for this job.
And blame themselves.
I wish I was different.
Weight bias hurts.
Let's stop weight bias.
Be part of the solution.
Go to stopweightbias.com. A public service message from Obesity Action Coalition.
HIV is not a crime, or it shouldn't be.
It's time for the laws to catch up to science.
Join the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation to modernize outdated HIV criminalization laws. Go to etaf.org. Campaign funded through the support of Gilead Sciences, Incorporated.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Can't understate that, especially when you consider how well the other guy was playing at their end. Like, it was a goalie matchup. They were going kind of save for save, and we needed it, right? Otherwise, this thing could have looked a lot different. So we got to give, like I said, Freddie, it's probably the best hockey he's played for us since being a Hurricane.
Cousins with the shot. Anderson with the save. Rebound still there. Back to Cousins. Second shot. Kicked away by Anderson again.
Two huge stops for Anderson. The rebound, too.
It is the Adam Gold Show. What is up, everybody? I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin in the hot seat today. Victoria's getting her hair did. Max and I don't really have to worry about that. Of course, I did my hair today with a razor blade, taken care of, and I won't have to do it again for probably another week. I actually was growing a playoff beard on my head for a while, and we're not going to play hockey. My guess is Sunday at the earliest, and if Philadelphia and Pittsburgh decide they want to play 7, we might even be talking about Tuesday.
Yeah.
Before the Hurricanes. I still think it'll be Monday. But if the Flyers and Penguins decide to play 7, and that will be determined by those two teams tonight, starting at, I believe, 7 o'clock or 7:30. That series would end on Saturday night because that's when Game 7 of that series is scheduled for. And we look like we're going to have maybe a handful of Game 7s. And if we have a handful of Game 7s anyway, I don't think even if there is no Flyers-Penguins, we might not start till Monday. If we've got 4 Game 7s over the weekend, we'd have 2 of those on Saturday, 2 of those on Sunday maybe, and we might not start until till Monday. But who knows? We could start, for all I know, we could start Saturday. A bunch of series could end. But such is the way of the world. That's Max Gorin. I'm Adam Gold. We're on YouTube. Search Adam Gold Show on YouTube or 99.9 The Fan on YouTube.
Yes.
You can watch the show.
We are back on YouTube after we've had some technical issues, but so far so good right now. We're live. Hop in the chat. Drop your one-timers for the end of this hour in the chat as well.
I'm very excited.
Make sure to hit subscribe while you're there as well.
Thank you very much. All the stuff that I forget to say all the time. Does that mean that when we talk to Chip Patterson later, we can do video?
In theory. We're
going to have to get Video Joe to tell us whether or not that's true or not.
Yeah, he'll have to give us the go-ahead if we want to do that.
Otherwise, who knows what's good. All right, a real quick update from Hurricanes practice, and we're going to talk Hurricanes here in a second with our Canes embedded reporter. He's not an embedded reporter, but former governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, loves to talk Canes, and we've got time, so why not? Alexander Nikishin back on the ice today. He was in a yellow non-contact jersey, so don't hit him, but he was practicing and skating with Shane Gostisbehere. So, as Rod Brindamore said yesterday, hopeful that Nikishin and Ehlers would both be back for the start of round 2. It looks like Alexander Nikishin, I'm not going to say likely because head injuries are head injuries, but certainly pointed in the right direction. Ehlers did not practice today. So remember what Rod said prior to Game 4 in Ottawa, that he thought that Nick would play, that Ehlers would play, and of course he didn't. Delorier slotted into the lineup, which actually, as it turned out, was probably a good thing anyway. And it's funny because I had a couple of people reach out, any chance because of expected shenanigans that Delorier might draw in, and I'm like, nah, I don't think Carolina's going to change anything. And then Ehlers doesn't play, so Delorier draws in, and again, it was probably a good thing to have him in the lineup.
Yeah, it was a gong show, so
yeah.
They definitely helped to have him out there.
So, but Ehlers still hasn't practiced yet, so which I'm not sure is a big deal or not. To be honest, I haven't spoken to the head coach. I'm sure I will before this week is out, before we get to game day of Carolina versus either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia in round 2. So I'm sure I'll talk to Rod Brindamore between now and then, but I haven't spoken to him yet, so I don't know what his thoughts, and we'll see what he says after practice today, because the Hurricanes, I think, just about got off the ice. They practiced at 11 o'clock at Lenovo Center. We have 3 games tonight. Montreal and Tampa Bay will play Game 5. That series is all even at 2 apiece. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, Game 6 in Philly with the Flyers ahead in the series 3-2. And Vegas and Utah will play Game 5 tonight in Las Vegas, and that series is deadlocked at 2. The Hurricanes, not deadlocked at 2. In fact, Ottawa, well in the rearview mirror. Former governor of North Carolina, 2-term governor, and the official Caniac of the great state of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. First of all, how do you feel with a 4-0 sweep of Ottawa?
A little bit stunned, Adam. I didn't really expect us to sweep Ottawa. I'd been listening to the national media about how great this team was and how we might be struggling with them. And you know what? I think that the turning point of this whole thing, and I know it's been repeated a lot, but it really was for me when Tkachuk decided that he was going to set the tone, because I was there and sitting in the stands and watched Stahl and Tkachuk drop the gloves. And Tkachuk set the tone all right, but not the way he intended. And hearing from Stahl's teammates when they saw that 37-year-old captain drop him and throw him to the ice, I think they were all a little wide-eyed, and this was their captain, and it set the tone. And the fact that the Senators never, ever led, just truly stunning sweep. But the entire time it was close.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that we won all of the close games. We were so physical. I loved it, and then you and I were wrong about Bussy. You remember we talked about maybe starting Bussy for Game 3.
Very,
and you and I were on the same page for that, and we were wrong. Freddie, I think he let in one bad goal.
Yeah, Game 2.
That was it, and I'm so excited now. A little worried about the layoff.
Yeah.
But Nikishin and Ehlers can get well, and hey, we'll take either one of those Pennsylvania teams. Right?
Absolutely.
Ready to go.
I don't know if you've talked to Josh Shapiro at all about whatever might happen next, but I'll leave that for you. And
you know what? That is a great idea. Let me taunt Governor Shapiro. That's
Can you text
great
him?
idea.
Can
I
you
look
text
forward
him?
to that.
Do you have his cell number? Okay,
absolutely.
good. All right. So
absolutely, I'll text him.
All right,
But let's see who wins first, because I think my taunting might be a little different depending on whether it's the Pens or Flyers.
I got you.
Do we want them to go 7? I mean, it's
an interesting conversation, isn't it?
For us.
It's an interesting conversation in this. Frankly, I think Carolina will win the series regardless of who it is. I know Philadelphia is very good, and they're young, and they're deeper, I think, than Pittsburgh. But what they don't have is Crosby. They don't have Carlson. They don't have Malkin. I'm not that concerned about. I say that, but he's a Hall of Famer, so I should be concerned about it. I think Philadelphia has a higher. They have better goaltending, but again, it's
a lot younger.
They're Crosby, and the Crosby factor. Pittsburgh is young at certain spots, but I do think that Philadelphia, top to bottom, is a little bit better team with a better goaltender. With all of that said, I don't think it matters. I think Carolina is the better team regardless who they play. But the question you asked, I think, is a really good one, right? Because I've talked about it. In that, I think that if that series goes 7 games, competitively, at least in Game 1, it puts Carolina at a disadvantage because that team would be in a rhythm of playing. And even if it's 2 days off, it probably would be just 1 day off. Start Monday. Now Carolina's been off for 9 days. So I just think that it would be more difficult to win Game 1. I might still win it than it would otherwise be because that other team is in the rhythm of playing. So I think it's an interesting question. So in that regard, maybe we want Philadelphia to wrap it up tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what the statistics show, but just in games that I have watched when teams have a long layoff, it takes a little bit to get started, and you don't want to get off on the wrong foot on Game 1 on your home ice. But, we've got some injuries, and, Freddie getting that rest. Wow, has he been so good. You and I talked about the fact that this was our Achilles heel maybe going into these playoffs. And Achilles heels, man, he's been the rock star.
Yeah.
So you're confident about the next series, and we have to be very careful doing this. So then give me your Lightning Canadians thoughts on this, because I'm looking at that series and looking at the talent of the Lightning, but also looking at the fact that Montreal had their way with us a few games, and I know you can't tell a lot by the regular season, but who do you want in that one?
I don't. It's not who I want. Frankly, Carolina was better than Montreal in 2 of the 3 games that they played. They just lost them. They were much better than Montreal in the 3-1 loss here, and I thought they were better.
You sound like the Ottawa coach. But go ahead.
Right. Well, I don't want to.
We didn't lose 4 games. Right. We didn't lose 4 games.
Hey, well, there are. We don't need to go back in the past. But I love Carolina's game against Montreal. The 3-1 loss here. Montreal has a super high end of talent. Whether it's Lane Hudson on the back end, Caulfield, Suzuki, Demidov, Slafkovsky, they've got a high level of offensive skill. What they don't have is what hurt them late in the game against Tampa. I don't think that they are a great team defensively. So as long as we don't get goalied by Montreal, I like our chances against the Canadiens. Tampa is a better team, a more physically imposing team than Montreal, but I don't hate Carolina's chances against the Lightning either. But it might not. We might be dealing with Buffalo. Of course, Buffalo's got to stop messing around and letting Boston beat them on their ice 2-1 in overtime, like happened last night. I thought Buffalo was a little disappointing to me last night. I thought they just kind of thought that they were going to win that game because they're significantly better than Boston, but obviously they did not do that last night. So I'm not concerned yet, because I think you and I talked about this last week, or whenever we spoke last, Mr. Cooper, the fact that you could lose. Carolina they approach every game. They understand, what the task is. They could lose to anybody because that's hockey. So I'm not concerned yet. I'm not like Rod Brindamore would yell at me if I started talking about the third series before we even started the second one.
Of course. Yeah, and I knew I shouldn't go there, but it's fun to...
Because Rod might be listening right now.
Speculate. What's that?
Rod could be listening right now.
Oh, he may be.
Yeah.
He may be, and he doesn't. He may be listening, but he's not hearing us. And let's hope he's not. Let's hope that Rod is Rod and doing what he needs to do.
He'll listen to the podcast later. So let me ask you this: we saw the hit on Alexander Nikishin. Roy Cooper is joining us here. Huge Caniac. What were your thoughts on the hit on Alexander Nikishin?
Well, I hated the Krieg hit worse.
Yes.
On Walker. I mean, that was just so cheap. I'm still baffled by that, and I think even he came around and said this was something that he was a little bit ashamed of, having done that and having lost his mind. But it was a hard hit. It looked like a hockey hit. I know I'm a homer, but it was a hard hit, and I hope he's going to recover. I know he's in concussion protocol.
Right.
What do you think? I mean,
I thought it might have been a little late. I thought the hit was clean, but I thought if anything it was a little late. But obviously when they looked at it, on video, they decided not to do anything about it. Although I'm not sure, because they didn't call a penalty on the ice. I'm not sure you can invent a penalty. They looked at other things there, I think. But I think you can make a debate either way that the puck had just left him, so maybe that's still fair game. I thought if anything it was late, but I thought the hit itself, it wasn't even to the head. It was shoulder to shoulder. That's how thunderous the hit was.
And that all of the playoffs really have been so physical that going up more than a notch from the regular season, it has truly been extraordinary. And I think that this may be a difference in the Hurricanes team from the teams that have not made it to the Cup in the last 8 years, is that this is, I think, probably the most physical team that we've had. And so, the refs are going to have to either try to cut it all off or continue to let them play, and because that's just really difficult to make these calls when everything is so physical out there right now. I think the referees are doing a decent job, and I know Rod Brind'Amour would hate to hear something like that. But hockey is so hard to officiate, and particularly when it is as physical as it is right now. But I'm proud of the fact that we are being physical right now, and we are also deeper than I think we've ever been. So I feel good about that for this year as to the past years. I also don't see a team that I look up and down their roster and I'm scared of like we were going to the game against the Panthers last year when you could go down that roster and say, this guy's better than anybody we've got, this guy's better than anybody we've got, all the way down. You just don't see that this year. So this is an exciting year, and you knock on all kinds of wood, and you want to make sure that you aren't overconfident. But this is going to be fun. I think we're in for a long ride, and I'm excited about it.
In our final moments with Roy Cooper, former North Carolina governor, two-term governor, a huge Caniac, because you drilled down on something that I've talked about before. This team is different. This is a different version, which speaks to all of the national media are still kind of living in the past with this Hurricanes team can be bullied. I don't think they can be bullied. I really don't. I think this team is beyond that. And I thought, and you brought up the Brady Tkachuk, Jordan Staal fight at the beginning of the series. That was supposed to set a tone, and it did, but not in the direction Brady Tkachuk thought he was setting the tone. It actually, I do believe it backfired on him, and it backfired on them as a team. And I still think Ottawa's very good. Carolina, they had to play very, very well to win that series. 4-0. What it is. Carolina won all the moments. But the fact that this team is physical, I don't think you can intimidate them. Deep and healthy. This is the healthiest they have been. Ehlers notwithstanding, Nikishin notwithstanding. And even though we all thought, you and I both thought that Brandon Bussey should start Game 3, after the fact, I went, no, you got to stay with Anderson in Game 4. And Freddie, I still think that Brandon Bussey's going to play a part in this. But Freddie's been great. No reason to change anything.
No reason to change anything. And you just got to marvel at this Stankoven, Hall, Blake line and watching them. And why were we ever even talking about needing a new second-line center? We have one. Yeah. And it was just those early signings of Blake and Stankoven by Eric Tulsky and Dundon and team.
Yep.
So it seems to be such a wise decision right now because they have very bright futures for this team. And I'm excited for them. And like you said, last time Aho got a couple, but we're still waiting for that first line to really catch fire.
Yeah.
And that can happen at any time. So I'm hoping this next series that all four lines are clicking for us. That's what's been amazing about it. You just don't feel a huge drop off, even when the fourth line goes out there and Jankowski lines it up and puts a top shelf in the corner. Mm-hmm. Amazing, the game that he should have won but didn't. Just extraordinary right now. Robinson flying all over the place. That fourth line is fun to watch too. So every minute is fantastic with these Hurricanes.
Mark Jankowski had two of the bigger moments, or three of the bigger moments in the series, one of which was the assist on the Taylor Hall goal that got Carolina on the board in the second period in Game 4. It's a great play. It was his blocked shot, and then Robinson gets the pass forward. Robinson also had a blocked shot that led to a goal in this series. Jankowski should have won, but also Jankowski nearly iced the game at 5-on-5 in the third period. His little chip of a rebound was just wide of the post. Though that fourth line has been good. It speaks to what you said before. This team is deeper and more dangerous than it's ever been. There's nobody. There are better players. I don't think there are better teams in the East. It's probably Colorado coming out of the West, although I have some doubts. But just like we would have any doubts about whether Carolina is going to come out of the East, you still got to go out and win 12 games to get to that point. And Carolina's not yet won 12 under Rod Brindamore. We've gotten to 9. We got to get. We need to get the next 3 games. Will you be at games 1 or 2 next week before I say goodbye?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'm working on it right now. Do we know the exact date?
We have no idea.
I knew we don't yet because we're still waiting for the Philly-Pittsburgh series.
Yeah,
so
and all the other series
down,
too.
I hope I can.
We're waiting for Gary Bettman to tell us when we have to show up.
Well, we will be ready, and hopefully we can shake off the inevitable rust that we will have, and maybe we will collide in a natural disaster Stanley Cup final. That would be a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
Avalanche versus Hurricane.
We'd love to see Brent Burns and Marty Necas and Jack Drury all back at Lenovo Center. Roy Cooper, I know I will talk to you again very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
You got it. Roy Cooper.
Bye.
Here on the Adam Gold Show. When we return, I'm going to dig into yesterday's news of the day, in which they have decided that even though we do not need it, the third nipple is coming. I'll explain what that means next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's time for our 12 o'clock keyword in our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. This hour's keyword is Aho. Text Aho to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to a Round 2 Stanley Cup playoff game in Raleigh and help us sound the siren. Again, this hour's keyword is Aho. Text the keyword to 919-860-5326 right now. Good luck from 99.9 The Fan, your official audio home of the Carolina Hurricanes.
It's bow time. There's something special about the first bite of a Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit, like an edible alarm clock that slaps you awake with bold Cajun flavor. The moment you sink your teeth into that soft, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit, then strike gold with a juicy piece of fried chicken, you'll know. Nothing beats the first bite, except the second first bite. Get a Cajun Filet biscuit combo today at Bojangles. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit. Enjoy a Cajun fried filet tucked inside a hot made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Make it a combo and add your choice of fixin' and legendary sweet tea. And remember, Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuits are served all day, every day. Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
August 11th is National 811 Day. 811 is the first step to getting your buried underground utilities like gas, electric, or internet lines located. Having these lines marked before digging helps keep you, your family, and your neighborhood safe. Play it safe when you plan on digging and call or click 811 3 working days before you dig. Learn more at nc811.org. Sponsored by North Carolina 811 and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with the station.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
HIV is not a crime, or it shouldn't be. People living with HIV can do and live fully healthy lives
without risk of transmitting the virus to others.
But a different fear remains.
In 30 states, Americans are being imprisoned due to their HIV status.
It's time for the laws to catch up to science.
Join the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation to modernize outdated HIV criminalization laws. Go to etaf.org.
HIV is not a crime.
Campaign funded through the support of Gilead Sciences, Incorporated.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-296-6868. That's 800-296-6868.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Max Gorin's on the ones and twos today. Do we have a theme, or we're just vibing Bee Gees, which is fine?
No, I've been listening to a lot of Bee Gees recently. I
Have
don't know
you?
why, but it's just the vibe right now.
That's fine. Once again, all good with it. Did you know that there was a time the soundtrack to Saturday Night Fever was the #1 selling album ever?
I definitely believe it.
I think the album that got in front of it, I think it was after the fact. It might have been, I think it was Thriller that surpassed it. Either that or Eagles' Greatest Hits, the first Eagles' Greatest Hits album, 71 through 75. Because I think Saturday Night Fever came out in 76. But it's phenomenal album. All right, yesterday the NCAA announced that they were giving us a third nipple. Not really. We are going to have a bigger NCAA tournament, but they're worth the same. Here's the deal. We don't need it. Nobody is asking for it. Nobody. The networks that broadcast the games are not asking for it. In fact, they don't really want it. They don't. It will provide exactly zero benefit once we get it. But we're getting it. Why? We'll answer that question in a second. Here's what makes me laugh about this, and you're gonna hear from some others here in a second. It makes me laugh that we act as though there are absolutes. Right? Because the people who argue, it's a pox on humanity. No, it's not. And nobody is saying that it is. So the people who advocate for this say it's not going to kill the sport. Nobody's saying that it will. Exactly zero people with credibility believe that we are going to ruin college basketball because we are going to have 8 additional teams in the field. Nobody says that. Nobody thinks that. The sport is not going to be ruined. Frankly, the people who are advocating for this are probably the people yelling the most against NIL and the transfer portal. If you think about it, I'll bet we should do a Venn diagram. I'll bet you that's pretty close to a circle. The people who are anti-portal, anti-NIL are probably pro tournament expansion. Coaches. The game will not be irreparably harmed. It won't be. We're going to love the game. We're going to love the regular season. It won't really cheapen the regular season. So the tournament's not going to be harmed beyond recognition. We're not going to go, oh my gosh, I can't watch that. We're going to watch it because, we gamble or we just love the game. And any NCAA basketball game is probably a good game. I mean, they're not all great games, but, you get one team that kind of, falls apart under the pressure, and you've got an upset, although these games additionally won't provide us with upset possibility. So you can miss me with the one extreme to the other. I don't understand. Actually, I want to play Seth Greenberg here. Let's play Seth Greenberg. And you're not going to find a bigger personal fan of Seth Greenberg than me. I've known Seth a long time. We get along great. I love talking to him about ball. But we're going to listen to him advocate for an expanded tournament.
For those of you losing your mind that the NCAA tournament expanded from 68 to 76, get over yourselves. When you have these mega conferences and you're playing 20-game schedules, and you know what? You might be 8-12, but those 8 games that you won, 5 of them might be teams that are in the top 25. And then at a conference, the way things are right now, you're seeing more good games at a conference. You might have 2 wins against top 25 teams. All of a sudden, you have 7 wins against top 25 teams. You got 7 wins against teams that are going to advance in the NCAA tournament. And yeah, your record might not be great. It might be 18-12, or it might be 17-13. But you're a team that can win games in the NCAA tournament. And more importantly, you expanded 8 more teams. I've been in my house with my players that won 10, 11 ACC games, 7, 6, 5 games against the field, and didn't get in. And how about the mid-majors? The expansion is going to potentially give the Atlantic 10 a better opportunity, the Mountain West a better opportunity, the Missouri Valley a better opportunity to get multiple teams in the tournament. So adding 8 teams, please just get over yourself. College basketball in the NCAA tournament will be just fine. And by the way, look at the non-conference games that are being played right now, because people aren't afraid to potentially take a loss because they know that it will help their body of work. So NCAA tournament's in great hands, and 76 will have no impact on the regular season, nor will have an impact negatively on the NCAA tournament.
All right, let's address a couple of those things real quick. 8 and 12 teams basically get in now in conference play because we got to fill out the field, and these leagues are getting so big that teams that are sub 500 in league play are getting in now, have been getting in forever. So I'm going to check that off. We don't need that. Miss me with it. Your record might not be great. Wait a second. If your record's not great, maybe you're not either. Mid-majors. Ha, that's a good one. That's a funny one. Mid-majors ain't going to get any of these spots, and they all know it. So stop with the mid-majors. We'll get a few more mid-majors. No, they're not. You know the reason why we're expanding? It's because the Power 4 leagues are pushing for it because they want more spots. The Atlantic 10 would get the same number of teams in an expanded field that they get now. The Mountain West Conference, same deal. Same number of teams that they get now. Expanding the field is just giving more spots to the power conferences so head coaches can keep their job. It is all about coach self-preservation. It has nothing to do with more access for mid-majors. It's a product of the Power 4 and a power grab. That's all it is. Just like we don't need more college football playoff teams. We don't. But we're going to get them. Why? So the power leagues can get more teams in. So coaches can say, hey, I made the playoff. At some point, making the playoff, whether it's college football or the tournament in college basketball, will stop being a job-saving idea. I don't know when that's going to be, but it's going to happen. It'll stop mattering whether or not it's a job-saving idea. Bottom line, if you don't make the tournament now, you didn't belong. Every single year, it's getting worse and worse. Every single year, we look at the bubble and go, geez, we got to take 2 of these teams? That's the problem right there. All right, Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander from the Ion College Basketball Podcast make the case against.
Because this is the one you hear a college administrator every once in a while, a coach every once in a while. Well, look at how many teams we've got. Look at all these teams. Look at all the teams that have been added to Division I over the past however many years. I mean, it used to be this, and now it's 300 million. I mean, should we really only have 68 spots for 300 million Division I men's basketball teams? Question. How many national championship contenders have we added to Division I men's basketball in the past 20 years?
The answer is 0. And I wrote a whole column on this. We talked about it last summer. I completely eviscerated this talking point. I can link it in the podcast thing after the fact. I'll probably write something on this tomorrow for the site, and I'll link it therein. There were all of these teams that have been added to Division I since we went to 64 period, let alone to 65 to 68. It is a completely bogus talking point that frankly should have never passed the meeting room where it was first concocted all those years ago. Not a single team that got added to Division I has been a national championship team, and only a few rare ones have even been good enough to make a deep run. The only one since they went to 64 that made the Final Four was FAU, coached by none other than Dusty May, who may prove to be a Hall of Fame level coach. That's the only one, period, that got there. So I can't stand that talking point. I know why it's out there. You're going to hear it trumpeted again, and Charlie Baker loves it. It's just not true.
It's just not true. It's a silly. I'm with you. If I were in the room with Charlie Baker, I'd say, hey, buddy, I know you think that sounds smart and it might play with dumb people, but the smart people are going to pick up. It's nonsense. Just keep that one in your pocket.
Here's the deal. Your television partners have not clamored for this. They're not interested in paying you more money for this. Now, I think they're probably within the contract. They probably have to cover the expanded, like we have X amount more games, however many more games it turns out to be. I'm not doing the math. So I'm sure it will at least pay for itself. The only reason to do this is if it earned everybody more money. Like everybody, not just the Power 4 leagues, but that's all it's about. It is just a money grab. So, what was it? Auburn missed the tournament this year, right? And Auburn wasn't good enough to make the tournament because if you can't make this one, you can't make it. But now in an expanded field where they add 8 more teams, well, man, look who got in. Auburn got in. Heck, maybe this will get Wake Forest in. We just don't need it. Nobody's clamoring for it other than those power leagues. It is wildly unpopular among the fans. And I get back to something I have said for years about the people who run college sports. They don't like college sports. They like money only. They like money. They like power. Really the same. They don't really care about college sports. College sports is the vehicle through which they get money and power. And it's not that they hate college sports, because I have actively said that. So I want to be more accurate here. I think they are indifferent to college sports. And they are not concerned with whatever, and I'm not saying we're going to ruin college sports. They're not concerned with the ramifications of what they do, how it impacts the games, how it impacts the culture and the fabric of these events, so long as they get more money and power. It doesn't matter to them. All they care about is money and power. And Again, the game's not good. We're not going to hate college basketball. We're not going to hate the NCAA tournament. It'll go on. Is there a way to do this better? You know what would be interesting? If we completely got rid of the bottom part of the first four, the 15s and 16s, because ultimately there is a negative drag on this if you expand and then you have more 15s and 16s. Like if everybody on the 16 line has to play a game, or if everybody on the 15 and 16 line has to play a game to get into the to the bracket proper, you're making it more difficult on the teams at the top. How's that going to play? They're going to hate that. They're going to hate that. But I just as soon see the bottom of the at-large pool play their way in if we were going to do that. Like, just to forget 16 versus 16. I don't want to see Howard have to play Alabama A&M. Give me the teams that really don't belong in the tournament play their way in. People would probably be more apt to watch that anyway. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin is here. You can go to YouTube, not YouTube.com. Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. You can ask your question in the chat right there, because one-timers, questions, and answers is next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Measles is spreading in North Carolina. It's highly contagious and can make infants and children very sick. Pneumonia, brain swelling, long-term health problems, hospitalization, and death can occur. Protect your child with the MMR vaccine. It provides lifelong protection. Serious side effects are extremely rare. Millions of children are safely vaccinated each year. Insurance covers the cost, and free vaccines are available. Make sure your child is up to date. Talk to your doctor or visit ncdhhs.gov/measles. Paid for by NCDHHS.
Carolina Complete Health. From neighborhoods in Charlotte to families in Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham, all the way to Asheville and Wilmington, and everything in between. We are here for communities across North Carolina, connecting you to the care and support you need. We are here to make healthcare easier to access and understand. We are here to bridge the gap, because your health matters. Your community matters. You matter. We are here for your health. Visit hereforyourhealthnc.com.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about, what am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Have you ever considered a career as a public power line worker? Public power line workers use a variety of specialized skills to build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system. As a public power line worker, you can expect a career that allows you to work close to home, a safety record superior to other energy providers, and training and apprenticeship opportunities. Learn more about public power and careers in public power at electricities.com.
More than 4 million adults in the United States have glaucoma.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments.
Schedule an eye exam today.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
This is Adam Gold.
We're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool. What are you doing? Get off Twitter.
It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop. Stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria is not here. I was on autopilot there for a second. Victoria's getting her hair done. Max Gorin is sitting in. He's on the ones and twos today, so it'll be the best of the 70s because we don't have to get our hair done. Do you have a barber, or are you like a Great Clips guy?
Great Clips for sure.
You're a hockey guy.
Well, more so because every once in a while they'll throw out a coupon where it's like $10 or they give you $5 off.
Perfect.
I see that on like Instagram. I'm like, all right, I guess it's time to get a haircut.
Excellent. That's when it's time. When there's a coupon.
Yeah.
Perfect. Hey, look, you know what? I'm back in the day. I was probably the same way. Now, do I have a fresh razor blade? I'm good to go. All right, are we ready for one-timers? Questions and answers. All right, where do you want to go, Mac?
Let's see here. We actually have a couple in our YouTube chat, which is now up and running once again. Remember to hop on to 99.9 The Fan on YouTube and have your voice be heard now that our YouTube chat is again once up and running. And make sure you hit subscribe while you're there. I will remind everyone of that now that we have some time to make up in terms of that. But this is actually from Conebread, a frequent viewer of our YouTube streams. What is your go-to hobby that doesn't include sports? I work with ancient coins professionally, so collecting has become less of a hobby, so I'm looking into getting into gemstone cutting.
All right, well, I'm glad Conebread is into gemstone cutting. What is my hobby that doesn't involve sports? I don't know that I have a hobby. Right? But what do I like to do that doesn't involve sports? I mean, gosh, I'm not really a movie goer or a movie fiend or anything like that. I like to cook. There you go. I like to cook. I've said this before on this very program. Do you peruse TikTok at all, Max?
I don't have TikTok anymore. I was wasting too much time on there.
All right, well, see, it is a time suck, right?
Now I just waste my time on Instagram, so it's the same thing. But
it sort of is the same thing.
Feels better, I guess.
So here's what I do on TikTok. I don't want to hear sports takes. I don't want to hear news takes. Music, really cool live performances on TikTok, and recipes. The Italian grandpa, whatever his name is, love that guy. I automatically save every one of his recipes. I will make the eggplant parmesan. I will make it. There's also another guy that I love, also Italian food. But that's cooking. That would be the hobby right there.
Yeah,
I made dinner last couple of nights because of the No hockey.
Oh, nice. I see recipes and like workouts and stuff on there, and I always
I
save them, but like I never actually go back to them.
I definitely go back and look at them.
The influencer recipes, they upset me though, because everyone's like, here's this super easy, quick recipe.
20 minutes.
And then there's like 100 steps, and like you need
minutes.
50 ingredients. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a cook. This is another one from Jake in the YouTube chat.
Sure.
Hey, Adam, how about the Bayern versus PSG game? Absolute cinema. Do you think whoever wins Atletico versus Arsenal have any chance of stopping them?
I think Atleti has the better chance. Well, Arsenal is the better team, and Arsenal can defend, but I don't think you can defend that. I don't think there's a defense for what PSG and Bayern have. I said this yesterday. They were one of my place your bets, and I believe we touched them all. I should have gone over more than I went over 3.5. How low? They did that by halftime. They did that by the 40th minute. It was over. It was already at 4. Those are the two best front fours on the planet, and I didn't even think Jamal Musiala, who plays the 10 for Bayern, I didn't think he was any good at all. But Kane, Diaz, Olise, who probably should have had 3 and only had 1 yesterday. But my gosh, is PSG good. Kvaratskhelia is amazing at left wing. They are just so loaded all over the place. I watched both of those teams play forever. So, yes, I watched it. It was box office. And I think we're going to see maybe not the exact same game, but a pretty similar game next Wednesday for the second leg in Munich. I cannot wait for that. I actually think today's game will be good, but it won't be what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. Maybe just a tad lower scoring.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Atleti doesn't play the way they used to. The reputation is that was pulling teeth too. But now Atleti scores. They've scored the 3rd most goals in the Champions League, and they've given up the 3rd most goals. So they're kind of open. I actually think we'll have goals in this one. I fancy a 2-2 draw out of Atleti and Arsenal.
All right, we'll get to a couple of Canes questions now here as we got a little bit of extracurriculars gone there with the gemstone cutting and the Champions League. This is from Chefin on the Grill. Would enjoy your take on Nikishin and whether or not it could possibly change his style of play coming back from that hit.
I don't think it will, and if anything, I think he would be more apt to be the aggressor as opposed to the hittee. I think he would be more apt to be the hitter. Like, this is not a criticism of Alexander Nikishin. He's partly responsible for what happened. I know nobody wants to hear that. But if he plays the puck cleanly and his head's not down, that doesn't happen. He sees the hit coming. But because he was fumbling around for the puck, and I thought it was a little late. But it wasn't egregiously late. I thought it was a little late. Thought it could have been a penalty. But they obviously looked at it and said no. But if he doesn't, lower himself, then we're not dealing with the same thing. And nobody wants to hear that, but I think that's true. I go back to the Stankoven-Wilson hit when Carolina and Washington played in the regular season, which I thought that was a clean hit. I don't know, but it looks bad. Nobody wants to see it, especially when it's your guy. But I thought the hit was fine within the rules. And that definitely wasn't late. This one I thought was late. But no, I don't think it'll change Nikishin's style at all.
All right, this one is from Topher. Which Canes player do you see taking over in round 2?
I mean, it's probably going to be the players we watched in round 1. I mean, honestly, because at some point, and maybe it will change, but at some point, teams might adjust and say, you know what, we need to slow down Stankoven, Blake, and Hall. But to this point, they're still not getting that respect. They're still looking at Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov as a line to shut down, and I understand. It's a pick-your-poison thing. Carolina's depth is a weapon because their 4th line can beat you. The 4th line has been very impactful. But right now, especially at Lenovo Center, I think it'll still be Stankoven, Blake, and Hall that'll be the line that will take over and provide a ton of offense.
All right, one more on the Canes as we get to the final 30 seconds here. What's your take on the goaltending situation? Are we going to see any bussy starts in the second round?
I mean, I think so, but it won't be in Game 1. And if Anderson plays reasonably well in Game 1, it won't be in Game 2. Bussy can play. I got no problem with it. But right now, I'm not sure why you'd take Anderson out of the lineup.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoots, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
In the transfer portal world of college basketball, every answer asks another question. NC State gets a point guard, but he's 6'1". They need more size. Carolina gets a new coach, but he's got NBA experience. Will the college kids listen to him? Even Duke needs a little bit of size and goes to a Belmont transfer. Everybody still has questions.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Step between the lines when you download the High School OT mobile app presented by State Employees Credit Union. It's easier than ever to find the coverage you want for the sports and schools you cheer for the loudest. Receive up-to-minute alerts, scores, videos, insider content, and the latest high school sports news across the state of North Carolina. Available now on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the High School OT mobile app, presented by State Employees Credit Union.
Ever catch yourself hiding your smile in photos? If you're dealing with stained, uneven, crowded, or missing teeth, you're not alone, and you don't have to live with it. At Chapel Hill Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, Dr. James Ferguson and his team help patients transform their smiles every day, using treatments like veneers, dental implants, and so much more. Whether you want a small refresh or a complete smile makeover, your plan is designed just for you. Come see what's possible. Visit chapelhilldds.com to request a consultation today.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health-friendly workplace.
So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for a supportive culture.
As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can be a source of support.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others that none of us are alone.
And that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Surrounded, ball knocked out.
Numbers, hard on the break, ahead to Brunson. Brunson layup, good. 11 seconds left. All they have to do is get it across half court. And the driver's seat game belongs to the New York Knicks. The final horn sounds. The score, New York 126, Atlanta 97. 3-2 advantage for the Knicks. Game 6 on Thursday in Atlanta.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's still not here. Max Gorin on the ones and twos. Knicks won a game yesterday, a big game. I just think they're setting all Knicks fans up to break their hearts in a home loss in Game 7. Although they did not rely on Karl Anthony Towns yesterday. Jalen Brunson was everything, but they spread it around. Towns was good. OG Anunoby was good. Josh Hart was good. But really, it's all about Jalen Brunson. Chip Patterson will join us in about 15 minutes. I do want to speak. We have, our second look at the news of the day, which we really didn't even do a first look. So we can certainly do that. Take two, if you will. The Hurricanes was sitting around going to wait until probably Sunday, maybe Monday, maybe even Tuesday, depending on how long Philadelphia-Pittsburgh goes. That series could end tonight. If it ends tonight, theoretically Carolina could be playing Game 1 at home by Sunday. If that series goes to a Game 7, and if Pittsburgh wins tonight, it will. That game is Saturday, which means that Monday, maybe even Tuesday, for a Game 1 at Lenovo Center. And I think Carolina, at least in terms of a competitive situation, would be at a little bit of a disadvantage against the team that would have played a day or so, 2 days or so earlier. Doesn't mean that Carolina still can't win Game 1, just going to make it a little bit more difficult because clearly Carolina has not played since this past Saturday. But there's other things I want to talk about regarding the Carolina Hurricanes. Because I don't even know why this has become a topic of conversation among Canes fans here locally. And there are things to think about in terms of this playoff run, but we're sort of in a little bit of a downturn here. And I do think this team is different, as we talked about with Roy Cooper. I think this team is more physical, more difficult to play against, more playoff ready than past versions of this team. It also helps that Carolina's second scoring line of Stankoven, Blake, and Hall, although really they've been the first scoring line, seems like they are more of a given than a hope. In fact, right now, Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov are more of a hope than a given. But I ain't worried about it. But it does speak to how Carolina is set up for the future. And I've had conversations about, Carolina's got all this cap room. Think about this. If they somehow figure out a way to move on from Jesperi Kotkaniemi in this offseason, and I don't know how they're going to do it. They don't want to buy him out. That's not what this organization does. Would probably be a good idea to, but that's not what they do. I think they would like to try and find a trade partner. And it might be, you take him and we'll give you this to take him. Might be something like that. Like what Cleveland had to do with Brock Osweiler. Or was it Houston had to do with Cleveland and Brock Osweiler? We'll give you Brock Osweiler and a second-round pick for a fifth-round pick. You see what kind of a deal that was? So I can see Carolina doing that. But if they do shed Jesperi Kotkaniemi's salary, we're talking about having like $19.5 million under the salary cap with what amounts to 2 players to sign. The only 2 players currently on their roster in their normal top 18 skaters that don't have a contract for next year are Mark Jankowski and Alexander Nikishin. Everybody else is signed. Everyone Yes, Nick Delorier is not signed for next year. They might sign him. Mike Riley is not signed for next year. I mean, they might sign him. But everybody else is signed. And not only that is, most of them are signed long term. I think Andrei Svechnikov's got 4 years left in a deal after this year. He's like, among their core players, he's got the shortest term left on his deal. What, Nick Ehlers has 5 more years after this season left on a deal. Now, Jordan Staal and Jordan Martinook are up after next year. But I don't think they're going to enter contract negotiations for an extension with either player until after next season. And I would say the same thing with Shane Gostisbehere and Jalen Chatfield, who are also up after next year. That doesn't mean that they won't sign them. It just means that I don't think they'll do anything until after the season is over. Alexander Nikishin. I don't see an 8-year deal in the offing, or whatever the max is. The max might not be 8 years yet. It might not have shrunk to 7 years yet. I still think you can sign an 8-year deal this summer. The CBA takes effect in September, I believe. But when this season is over, the Hurricanes are going to negotiate a contract with Nikishin. I think it'll be short term, something in the neighborhood of 2 years. Whatever the number is, I don't really care. Carolina's got plenty of room under the salary cap. But if they signed him to a long-term deal, it would be between somewhere in the 7.5 to 8 range, and Carolina would still be significantly below the salary cap and have everybody signed. So there are people who think, well, they're not going to be a cap team because the cap keeps going up. I mean, they're trying. But when you have so many good players signed to such great value contracts, when Jackson Blake is under 6, Logan Stankoven is 6, Seth Jarvis is under 7.5, Andrei Svechnikov is under 8, Jacob Slavin is under 7. I mean, you've got guys signed to really team-friendly contracts. It's hard to get to the cap. If you think that Carolina will not spend to the cap because they don't want to, you're just flat out wrong. They will spend what they need to put the best possible team on the ice. The free agent market ain't great. I don't think they're going to be interested in signing free agents, but I wouldn't rule out, swinging a trade. I just think that Carolina doesn't really want to damage the core of the team. Who would you trade out to bring in somebody major? I mean, somebody might go. But I don't think Carolina's going to move somebody out that they value simply to bring somebody else in just because that the theory is that other player is better. I don't think they're going to do that. And Carolina's in an incredible position to keep this competitive window open for a long, long time. And I do think this. We are 2 years away from potentially seeing Jordan Staal and Jordan Martinook retire. I mean, that's just it's a possibility. At that point, after the 27-28 season, 27-28, 26-27 season, my guess is they'll probably both do 1-year deals for the following year. I have a hard time seeing Staal playing anywhere else. Not a hard time. He's not going to play anywhere else. I think it's possible that Martinook might. He's a little younger than Jordan Staal, but I don't see it. To me, he's a Hurricane, and that's where he's going to play until he's done playing. So maybe it's 2 years from now. Maybe it's 3 years from now when those guys are done. That's when Carolina's massive cap room will come in handy because other teams are not going to have that kind of cap room. But right now, if we're looking 3 years down the road, Carolina still has a lot of players signed and about $50 million in cap space. It is insane how good a situation they are in. So, Carolina's, if you are a Hurricanes fan, this window, barring health, is not closing. This window is just going to open wider for them. And I do think that this is the best team that they have had under in the Rod Brindamore era. I think they are different. I think they are more competitive. They are more physical. They are more apt to beat you at the game you want to play. I think it's a blast. I think Ottawa, real quick before we break, Max, you're a hockey guy. Did we learn that about this team from the Ottawa series?
I mean, I was always of the belief that Ottawa was maybe getting a little too much hype.
Sure.
For a team that was wild card too, and yeah, it was a better wild card team than we typically see, especially in the Eastern Conference. But I mean, we know Carolina has the playoff experience and the ability to play that physical, bruising game. I know there have been years in the past where maybe physicality wasn't a strength of the team, but they're bringing that intensity this time around. And I said all along the process that I really liked how much size they added on the back end as well. Nikishin being a regular, Keandre Miller being acquired. A lot of the best teams that end up winning the Stanley Cup have a ton of size on the back end, big D-core. And they showed it. Now, of course, Nikishin ended up on the wrong end of that hit, and hopefully he'll be able to come back. But I think they're able to adapt a little bit based on the opponent. And the one thing for me this year that I've noticed is I feel like in years past there's nights where you can tell they just don't really have it. Like the puck's not going to go in. They're out of sync. I think this season they've had like far fewer of those moments than any of these years past. They just seem so much more locked in, ready to go. I think a lot of that is a credit to the second line because they're just always coming out with that energy and chemistry and buzzing around. But I mean, I think they're ready for at least either of these opponents that are going to be coming out of Pennsylvania, and then beyond that, who knows who the opponent will be coming off the top side of the bracket. But I think this team is ready to take on pretty much all comers.
Who's the best team on the other side, on the Atlantic side, right now?
It's so hard to say. I think it's going to be whoever comes out of the Montreal, Tampa. Buffalo's good. I mean, don't get me wrong, but if you haven't been there in 15 years, like I just don't know if they have the experience.
Well, those players don't know that.
But they don't have a ton of playoff experience. Like Tuck, I mean, really,
that's it.
Beyond him, like who really has it for them? So
that's it.
Jason Zucker,
they're really good. I think Buffalo is really good.
I think they would have really been good for them to have closed that out yesterday because it's going to be hard for them going into Boston. And I know they won both there the first time around, but
they dominated.
Closing it out, getting the last one in the series is the hardest one.
No doubt about it. Montreal, Tampa, that series better go 7.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so fun to watch.
I think Montreal kind of blew. I thought Montreal blew Game 4.
They had all the momentum. Yeah. They had just killed off that 5-on-3, the Bell Center crowd going nuts, and then Kucherov just throws it in front of the net off of Hagel's chest, and it got quiet in there real quick.
Yeah, it did. And who knows? By the way, real quick, did you see? If you're a Dallas fan, Jake Ottinger, the last 2 goals, the goal that made it 2-1 and then 3-2 and then 3-1.
McCarron.
Those are both bad goals.
McCarron's been so good he's kind of like almost like a Jankowski role for Minnesota, and ironically like another pickup from Nashville. I mean, it was great awareness by him to figure Ottinger would lift the pad going for the poke check there. Yeah, I mean that's the risk you take when you go for the poke. I mean, how many times have we seen Pyotr Kochetkov? I mean, he's a little bit better at it. I think he's probably one of the better poke-checking goaltenders in the league, but that's the risk you take. You got a fourth-line center coming at you. He's probably not going to beat you to the backhand with a nice move, so I think you got to stay put there.
Yeah, just no bueno. And now they're going to Minnesota. Dallas can win Game 6, so I'm not that concerned. I don't know that home ice matters in that series at all.
Those 2 series are awesome. That one and Montreal, Tampa, and those are probably the ones we knew coming in. We're going to be like, all right, these are going to be appointment television.
Yeah, they should have been. We have Dallas and Minnesota, second and third best teams in the West, and Tampa and Montreal were the 3rd and 4th best teams in the East. We'll break. Chip Patterson's going to join us on the other side. We'll get his take on an expanded field plus more next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's time for our 1 o'clock keyword in our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. This hour's keyword is Seth. Text Seth to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to a Round 2 Stanley Cup playoff game in Raleigh and help us sound the siren. Again, this hour's keyword is Seth. Text the keyword to 919-860-5326 right now. Good luck from 99.9 The Fan, your official audio home of the Carolina Hurricanes.
I may not be on the show today, but that's because it's one of those take a day off to check some things off the adulting list days, which is also important to remember if your motorcycle's been sitting all winter. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Law Tigers, and some people prefer to ride when the weather is warm and pleasant, so that just means you'll have a list to run down before safely getting back out there to ride. Just like you should have a rundown in case you're ever injured in an accident while you're on your motorcycle. If this ever happens, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before calling your insurance company. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible, but at Law Tigers, they just celebrated 25 years in business and have helped thousands of people. And most importantly, they understand what you're going through because they're riders too. They know the value of your bike gear and the investments you've put into it. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
It's bow time. Sometimes the craving for Bojangles Supremes is so strong you just gotta have them. Even when your gas tank is on empty and Bojangles is still 10 miles down the highway. Nothing beats the flavor of Bojangles Juicy Golden Supremes, especially when they're part of a perfect combo with 4 boldly seasoned chicken Supremes, a made-from-scratch biscuit, fixin', and some legendary iced tea. The only thing that can satisfy your hunger is that delicious southern flavor. So when the craving is supreme, put the pedal to the metal. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that one-of-a-kind Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much. From the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
This is Adam Gold.
And we're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool.
What are you doing? Get off Twitter. It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop. Stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin on the ones and twos. It's a Wednesday. It's a Chip Patterson day. My man, the moderator, Cover 3 podcast, CBSSports.com, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. So are you fired up for a 76-team NCAA tournament, Chip Patterson?
I will take the more games.
I am not yet convinced that they are prepared to, put this in a way that is going to be, fair. Like there will be implications from however they mess up with the bracket, right?
Yeah.
Like I am a little bit of the golden bracket, believer. Just the idea that 4 quadrants of 16 perfectly plays out. And it just, I enjoy the symmetry of it all. And we're messing with that. We are turning this into far more convoluted of a process. So like personally, I find NCAA tournament expansion, it's unappealing. I think it's gaudy. I think it's pretentious. I think it insists upon itself. I think that we didn't really need all of this, and I just professionally more basketball. Fine. I'm good with more basketball. These are all things that I enjoy. So I will take more games on Tuesday and Wednesday of what is already a sleepless and chaotic week after a sleepless and chaotic week.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think they needed it.
No, they did. It's a third nipple.
Yeah.
Like nobody wanted it. We don't want it. I don't want that. Where would you put it? Right? It's not really doing. It's not killing anybody. It's funny how we attack these things in absolutes. So the side that is pro, and these are mostly coaches, who are pro expand the field, coaches and administrators from the power conferences who are told by their presidents that we need to get more of our teams in so we get more units. So it's about money for them, even though we're not really expanding the pie to a great extent, or if at all. But the people who are pro this are saying, for all of you naysayers that say this is going to destroy the sport, what are you talking about? Nobody's saying it's going to destroy the sport. We're just saying that we don't need it. Nobody wants it. Fans don't want it. The networks don't want it. So why are we doing it? That's what I think I'm saying. That's what I think most of the people who are anti this are saying. We're still going to watch, still going to love it. But we don't need it.
I also think we have to look at it from college sports as a whole and just understand that we're just in expansion season.
Right.
We expanded all of our conferences, and unfortunately, the Big Ten and the SEC got positive reinforcement for what that led to.
Right.
Led to more money, better television revenue, all of these wonderful opportunities, all of these championships. Adam, the Big Ten might win the national championship in baseball. Are you kidding?
Well,
I did not know this until recently. But the idea
like Oregon
that we
or
might
UCLA?
be looking at right after they finally snapped their basketball drought.
Right.
So they are seeing positive reinforcement of conference expansion. The college football playoff expanded to 12, and everybody seemed okay with it. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to be on our way to 24. So from the broader college sports view, I'm not going to waste too much of my energy trying to step in front of a locomotive that is expansion, but I do think that it is excessive. And in an era of excess and expansion, it's not that surprising.
Chip Patterson is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, as he does every Wednesday. Oh, I want to get to the football expansion in a second. Is there a way? Because the people who are anti this will say, no, there's no way. But there is a way to make it palatable that we're going to have now 76 teams. And we got to bury these games somewhere, and we'll bury them where people can watch. Whether it, Tuesday and Wednesday night of the first week of the NCAA tournament. We don't care that we're making kids fly all over the country.
Call it bubble burster. Don't even include it at like a new NCAA tournament sanctioned or the qualifying round. We've got the big tennis majors. Qualies? Are you going to get through qualies?
Are we going to have a lucky loser? Wait a second. Are we going to have a lucky loser? Because they have those at Wimbledon. We have lucky losers.
Yes.
I like it.
I think that there's a different way that in like some sort of ladder. But here's the thing that's important to me is that it is all the teams that they're talking about that would be the last ones in. It is the teams which, unfortunate for the history of basketball in New York City and what the NIT used to be, especially when conferences only sent one champion and really, really good teams made it to the NIT. Winning the NIT, was it 50 years ago? Probably was a good accomplishment.
You were hanging a banner.
You said you were one of the better teams.
You would hang a banner if you won the NIT back in the early 70s.
This, to me, is welcoming in all of the top seeds in the NIT. And on some level, I bet the argument was made that it'll keep more teams invested in postseason basketball when otherwise the transfer portal and the coaching carousel as it is just leads to a bunch of zombie dead walking teams trying to fill out some of these postseason tournaments that are not the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament expands,
right?
But then pretty much everything else falls off the vine.
The CBI will still exist because that's where the mid-majors will go. The notion that this will be good for mid-major conferences is laughable. None of those teams will get the benefit of the doubt. It will all be the teams that are, just not good enough to make the field today from the power leagues.
What I'm worried about is that it ends up being mid-major teams kicked into these preliminary round games, so they don't even get the experience of a Thursday of the first weekend.
Well, I don't even think they'll get into any of these. I think these will all be power league teams.
Even conference champions, the automatic bids.
Oh, okay.
Currently, you've got a situation where just with the 4, but are all of the teams in the preliminary round guaranteed to be? Because the first 4 has 16 seeds that are conference champions. And so if you're weeding out all of the teams that are supposed to be filling in the back end of the at-large bids, essentially, then sure, I've got a much different approach to this than if this is providing more opportunities like we already have with the first 4 for conference champions, not even to make it to the arena for that first round Thursday, first round Friday.
Here's what I would do, and this would be a perfect exercise for people who think about these things. I would eliminate the 16 seeds playing against each other. I would put them in the bracket.
Correct.
So we don't have to have Howard and Alabama A&M playing for a spot against
one single
Kansas.
spot.
Right, playing for a spot against Kansas. Now, those games are considered NCAA tournament games. And I've spoken to Lavelle Moten, who's played in it, and he goes, no, it's a big deal, and it's a game you can win, as opposed to most 16 versus 1 games, which you're probably not. You're going to get your rear end beat and go home. But I understand both sides of that, but it doesn't
I have heard that you get a unit for the win.
You do.
That
so
has a financial windfall after that. So, somebody else argues, well, we're actually providing more opportunities for some of these schools that are in the 31st ranked conference in America to be able to come out there and earn some money for their league.
But if you wanted to make the games more attractive, Howard, Alabama A&M, Liberty versus Robert Morris, those games are not what we're tuning in for. Gamblers would. But if you had 2 power league teams playing to be the 13 seed in the Southeast region or the South region. I just dated myself. We haven't had a Southeast region in like 30 years. But if you were having 2 13 seeds playing for the right to play a 4 in the South, then that would be, I think, a different animal to watch. I think you would engage bigger fan bases in those games. So I would make all of those games at the bottom of the at-large pool. But, of course, they won't do that because I don't know why they won't, other than it's a power grab. But that's what I would do with those.
Have they finalized the format? I haven't gotten
final
details on what the format would look like. Those decisions, to me, move me more than the idea of a number 68 to 76. 68 to 76. 68 was already a mutant.
Yeah,
68
I agree.
76 is like, okay, you've added 8 more teams. I'm not as stirred truly as a fan of college basketball when we start to get into the discussion you and I are having right now in terms of which teams are playing in these early rounds and how do they fit into the bracket. Those are things that I've got stronger opinions on.
All right, let me throw to football. I mean, it's going to happen, so there's no sense in beating our heads about it. Does it seem to me that we are entering into a period of inevitability that the number in college football will ultimately be 24? It might be 16 for a couple of years, but that we are going to head to 24? That Greg Sankey is going to lose that battle with Tony Petitti?
I can't speak to how the 2 conference commissioners are standing up opposite each other, diagonal, side by side.
Right.
You got to remember, when they're also fighting for the expansion of the NCAA, they got to hold hands.
True.
So that's the thing. They spend a lot of time on different sides of the table. Sometimes opposite, sometimes side by side, sometimes diagonal. I can't speak to exactly where we're at. Speaking to a friend who is very, very in the weeds on this, a great a great honor, I'm sure, to be super in the weeds on college football playoff expansion. But just to hear how slowly all of this goes, because you say inevitability, but man, there is so much let's circle back to this. There is so much, let's make a note on the agenda to put this on the next agenda. Put a pin in that. I think it gets tossed around a lot. And so the problem is, I agree there's an inevitability, but to even say who's winning what war is impossible given how slowly this thing is looking like it will eventually play out. The expansion to 24 teams, for the most part, really attracts the idea for individual athletic directors. And to be able to get a consensus, you got to get a lot of people on the same page. And whether you're from the Big Ten or the SEC, athletic directors are going to very much favor the idea that if home games are being given out and we've got one of the better teams in college football, we want a shot at one of these home playoff games.
Right.
These home playoff games have become not only an environment that's cool for fans, but a revenue driver that you don't have to share. And that's your hotels, and that's your restaurants, that's the tickets, that's the suites, that's everything else. So the new sponsored, big pregame fan experience that you can buy tickets to on playoff night, like all of these things become opportunities, much like playoff hockey and parking and things of that nature. So when you expand to 24, you have guaranteed any of the top seeds in this field are going to get a home playoff game, where if you got a home playoff game in the first round and you win, you're probably on the road for round 2 against a team with the higher seed. But that is something where in the early rounds, you're getting more on-campus games without squeezing out the bowls, which are just gripping onto those final rounds with everything they've got. And so when you can't shake their hands off the quarterfinals, semifinals round, those 6 games right there, you just got to add it onto the front end of the bracket.
Chip Patterson is with us, as he is every Wednesday. If we go to 24, the consequences, we're going to eliminate conference championship games.
Correct.
And
yes.
the SEC, that's a pretty big number to just erase off of their ledger. Because what I've read is that we're talking about a $50 million payout for their conference championship game. None of the other conference championship games come close to that. Some may earn a lot of money. I'm sure the Big Ten championship game earns a lot of money, but it's not that. So
we know because NBC just sold it back to Fox.
Oh,
this
did
was
they?
NBC's time. Yeah. CBS did 2 years ago. Fox did last year. This was NBC's turn, and they're like, you know what? Here, you take it back. And then Fox just recently bought it back. You can check the number on it. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But the thing that makes this, and again, I'm coming at this with just sort of like an earnest, not an expert, but just two friends talking about sports. But I've got to think that when you're trying to make the decisions about eliminating a conference championship game, and the rights to that conference championship game are also currently held by the rights holder who owns the college football playoff.
Right.
I just don't think you're going to meet the same amount of resistance as if you had other partners in play, and that a little bit of the Greg, come on, buddy. How about a little column A, column B on this one for me now? Okay. We're going to take out this game, but we're going to create a format where even the Big Ten's own internal reporting shows the SEC would dominate the number of bids and therefore the number of units that would be like a 24-team playoff has a lot of that middle pack.
Yeah.
I mean, all these teams that are finishing 9-3 or 10-2, all of those teams end up getting in if you expand the field just even a little bit more.
Right.
And, I think that that's a pitch that eventually, even given the financial loss that would be the elimination of that game, eventually I could imagine they might come around to it.
Do you think the Big Ten would be open to a 24-team field that didn't guarantee 7 spots for those two conferences? That it was just like our conference champion, however we determine, they're in, and then it's at-large teams except for one group of 6.
My understanding of the current 24-team model that's floating is no guarantees except for one group of 6.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not
going to be able to,
I'm not into 24.
Come around on this.
I'm not into 24, but I'm into no guarantees. That's the thing.
But that's how they get you to the table, Adam. They get you to the table by saying we're throwing out all the wonkiness. We just want the best teams. We don't care what conference they're from. But the exchange is you're going to have to let us cast a wide net for them.
All right, now I'm going to ask you this question, Chip, and then I'm going to move on to something that you and I both love. A couple things about one of our other favorite things. If we had a 24-team field this year, would Clemson make it?
No.
Oh, that hurts. How many ACC teams would be in the top 24?
Oh, I mean, that's it. That's actually an easy exercise, Adam. You just try to imagine what an AP top 25 looks like,
right?
And just know that the teams in the 20s are on the chopping block. So what does that mean? Miami's inside the top 10. The second best team somewhere around 15, probably 14, 15, 16.
Louisville?
And
Virginia
maybe
Tech?
I'm going to go SMU and Louisville. And maybe whoever's got the better record is somewhere around 23, 24, last team in type category for the field. So, yeah, probably about 3.
But not Clemson. My gosh, if Dabo doesn't make a 24-team field, oh, my gosh.
They're not a top 25 team.
It's so sad. The whole thing is sad. All right. 2 things about golf. 1, how about Alex and Matthew Fitzpatrick winning this past weekend at the Zurich in Louisiana, which is the team event, and Alex getting a full-fledged PGA Tour card for the first time. It's just awesome. The bunker shot that Matthew hit was just sublime to about a foot. And then he told his brother, don't miss the putt. That was just great. I just thought it was one of the great scenes of the weekend.
It's Matt Fitzpatrick's world, and we're all living in it. He's up to number 3 in the world. It is not crazy to think he's going to have $20 million in on-course earnings.
Yeah.
And he and his wife are both expecting. Congratulations. Like this, every now and then a star just comes and just goes on a sun run. And there's a lot. He credits the change in his coach. Somebody who he met at the golf coach heads out there will know exactly who it is. But,
I have no idea who it is.
His approach game has gotten better.
Yep.
And for Alex, all I can say is go Deeks. Just a hearty go Deeks.
Oh, is he a Demon Deacon?
I am almost positive that Alex Fitzpatrick is a Demon Deacon.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is absolutely. Look, I'm a fan of Matt. Love the fact.
So that means more Arnold Palmer references, because anytime any Wake Forest, somebody on the Wake Forest golf program does literally anything, you got to be like, trying to become just another great like Arnold Palmer and Webb Simpson.
That is Webb Simpson, who could be a future Ryder Cup captain. And finally, is this the final year of Live Golf as a competitor to the PGA Tour? I think Live Golf has a role. I think they absolutely have there's a place in the golf ecosystem for what Live can provide in Asia and in South Africa as a major tour. But it's going to have to earn its way. I don't believe it's going to get continued funding from the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. But is this the last year that it is a competitor of the PGA Tour?
You could argue that might have been 2024 or 2025. I mean, I don't know. They got Rahm in 23.
Yeah, something like that. Rahm and Hatton together.
Yeah, Rahm was right after the Masters win. Yeah,
it was in the off season. It was in the off season of that year. Yeah,
the off season of that year. Yeah, I think that when it was Patrick Reed, it was Brooks, and you're hearing some of the commentary from some of these players, and you're not getting any new additions that are really moving the needle. I think that's where the ins and the outs kind of pointed to, because your question was not exist. Your question was not about existence. Being very specific. Your question was about competitor.
I think it has a role. I think it has a role in the sport. I just don't think it's as a direct competitor to the PGA Tour or even the DP World Tour.
I mean, I've got friends who I know who are very into figuring out the Turkish Open. and going through who just at every level, or even the senior PGA where Dodo Molinari and Frank Molinari are just cleaning up at the same time. There's existing within the realm of the golf universe. Yeah, for sure. But your question was competitor.
Yeah.
And I think that when you lost a couple of players who are not at the peak of their powers from when they were top 5 players in the world, but at least still have good golf in them, and they're not wanting to sign up for more.
Yeah,
I think that was a disappointing sign about the future if you're a champion of live golf.
Chip Patterson, champion of this program. I appreciate your time, man. It was nice to see you.
Sounds good. Y'all be well.
We were phoned the last couple times. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, that's Chip Patterson here on the Adam Gold Show. We haven't talked a ton about it, but a couple of weeks ago there was the news item that the Public Investment Fund was going to stop funding at the end of the year, and then there were loud noises because people were like taking victory laps on it. And I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I think that tour, while forget about the gimmicks, forget about the team golf, forget all that garbage, the shorts, the music, all the shotgun start, none of that stuff matters. It's just the window dressing. What the damage that tour did was to the finances of professional golf, because the golf doesn't generate the income that they were providing and that the PGA Tour to compete had to provide. And ultimately, we're going to see a market correction go back the other way at some point, because it has to. But ultimately, if they weren't making a statement in the sport, if they weren't having an impact on TV in the marketplace, then it wasn't serving their needs. It didn't matter that because of the Public Investment Fund's wealth, that whatever they were putting into live golf, which is, I think, however many years now, about $6 billion. It's just a rounding error. They're worth $750 billion right now. So it doesn't matter. It's just a rounding error. But if they weren't getting the return, not financial return, but a PR return, which they're not, then there's no point in doing it. Like, I actually think if Liv wanted to make a real impact, they would do that with women's golf, not men's golf. They would funnel boatloads of cash into women's golf, not men's golf. And they already do a lot of sponsoring of women's events, which is sort of, I don't know if that's I'm not going to get into it. All right, well, we should break, and when we come back, we'll place bets, and we will stretch. We got a lot of stuff to do. Next hour, we'll talk to Darin Gantt, Panthers.com, find out how things are going down there on Mint Street. Certainly seems like a good draft. We'll talk to him about it next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
From the food we eat to the clothes we wear, agriculture touches every corner of our daily lives. I'm Lee Ivey, director of the Agriculture Institute at NC State University. With the world's population growing, we need people equipped and trained to meet the needs of our future. In our program, we rise to meet that challenge every day, and our students are engaged and invested. Invest in yourself and learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. Deadline for fall enrollment is June 1st. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
This April, during Line Worker Appreciation Days, we celebrate our hometown heroes, the public power line workers who keep our communities powered and connected. From powering homes and businesses to restoring service after storms, public power line workers show up every day, rain or shine, to keep the lights on in the communities they serve. Join us in saying thank you to these dedicated, skilled professionals by visiting electricities.com/thank-a-line-worker.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare Savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Your child's doctor shares your goals, a healthy future for your child. Doctors recommend vaccines throughout childhood because they protect what matters most, your child's future from preventable disease and serious illness. Discuss any questions you have and check that your child is up to date and talk about any concerns. You're right to have questions. Get real answers. Start a conversation with your doctor today. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
You know, soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana and it's attracting all these gnats.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Max Gorham, producing the program today. We're going to place bets coming up. I was looking back. I did get my 4-leg parlay from yesterday's Champions League bet correct. It was plus 405 if you were following. We'll give you at least a 2-leg parlay, a same-game parlay today for the other Champions League match, Atletico Madrid and Arsenal in Madrid. So should be, I think it'll be a fun game. Not like yesterday, which was bananas, and I could watch that every single day for the rest of my life. But I think today's match will still be good. But before we get to that, it's time to stretch.
All right, so what's like the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on a flight?
Wow, I was not expecting that. Craziest thing that has ever happened to me on a flight. I don't think I've had any weird experiences on a plane. Maybe that's boring, but I have not had. I've been asked to sit in the exit row. Would you like to sit in the exit row? And the answer is always yes.
Yeah, legroom. Well, have you ever dealt with like a crying baby on a flight before?
No.
Never.
No.
Well, some passengers on a flight from Atlanta to Portland did deal with a crying baby, a newborn baby, because a passenger on a Delta Airlines flight from Atlanta gave birth to a healthy 5.5-pound girl just before a Boeing 737 landed at Portland International Airport in Oregon on Friday night. Imagine that story. You were born on a flight. I don't know how you end up flying when you're apparently she was 2 weeks from being due to give birth. The mother here from Tennessee. The baby was born about 2 weeks early. The plane came in about 20 minutes early.
Right.
So, just premature on both fronts. They found she was on labor, and they began moving passengers back to the seats to make room for the delivery.
Nice.
Yeah, that is just wild stuff. But shout out to that kid born on a flight. That's going to be a great story for you to tell. Another story here is the 250th anniversary, 250th birthday of the United States this summer. And
that's right. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary.
A little known fact is, I believe it says it was 1950. The Treasury created replicas of the Liberty Bell. There's a replica of the Liberty Bell in every U.S. state. And there is a group of, I believe they call them bell hunters. These people are going around trying to see as many of these replicas of the Liberty Bell as possible. Unfortunately for those interested in the bell in North Carolina, it's actually not accessible. Except for North Carolina is one of the 2 or 3 states where the bell is not accessible. It is in a storage facility right now.
Okay.
It was moved last summer. So, unfortunately, out of the 50 replicas, only one, and this is from 1950, only one of them has been lost in that time. It was the one they gave to Washington, D.C., go figure, with all the corruption they got going on there. They apparently somebody might have melted it down for scrap value because it was 2,000 pounds of bronze.
Right. Wow.
But we do have one here, but it is currently in storage. So, unfortunately, if you are looking for a Liberty Bell replica here in Raleigh, you're out of luck. You're going to have to go to another state. But I found that was interesting. There's like real size replicas of the Liberty Bell in every state in the country.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I never knew. And there's just a group of dedicated people who are trying to go around and see them all for the.
Do they all have cracks?
I don't think they're all cracked.
They're not
it's
really
not a true
replicas.
replica. Yeah, not a true replica.
Fanatics must make it. I kid.
Fanatics made the original one. That's why it cracked.
Oh, that's very funny.
Speaking of Fanatics, they have a sports book.
They do.
What do you do on a sports book? Place bets.
Very nice.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me.
I owe you nothing.
All right, I did. I gave you a 4-leg parlay for Bayern and PSG that hit. Was plus 405. I will give you a 4-leg parlay for Arsenal Atleti coming up in a little bit. But, Max, you go first.
All right, we got, what is this, Game 5 between the Montreal Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. Total over-under set at 5.5. I'm going to go over on that. I feel like we're going to get some goals tonight. And that is just a minus 118 bet there.
All right. I'm just going to say we're getting a 4th overtime in the 5 games of this series. I thought we were going to go 4 for 4 until Tampa scored late. And now all we got to figure out is who is going to score that overtime goal. And I am going to give you Braden Point plus 5,000 to score in overtime to win that game. It probably should just be Brandon Hagel because he scores every game.
Yeah, 6 goals already in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Cow. But I'll give you Braden Point at plus 5,000.
I can't believe that's a bet you can make. Just an overtime goal scorer. That's crazy.
That's
the other game, or one of the other games, this is the West Coast game between Vegas and the Mammoth. That one's 2-2, heading back to Vegas tonight. I'm going to go with a Logan Cooley anytime goal scorer, plus 220. I'm just a fan of his game. He signed a big extension during the year this year. Great young player. Would like to probably make an impact in this game and try to give Utah an advantage heading into Game 6. I'll go Cooley anytime goal, plus 220.
Let's go Pittsburgh to drag this to a Game 7, and we'll go over 5.5 goals. Pittsburgh in the over, and that is, I have too many things going on here at the same time. I got to give you a total here. Let me clear out some of these things. That's plus 236.
All right, my last one, Lakers-Rockets tonight. Lakers looking to close out the series up 3-1, and you got to ride with the king. I'm going with LeBron over 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That is -110. I think he's gonna put the Rockets away tonight.
Real quick, I hate the fact that LeBron even brought up the comparison to Jordan, because now all they're doing on TV is talking about it. I hate it. I hate that comparison. Hate that conversation. I hate that LeBron James brought it up. All right, Atleti home to Arsenal, Champions League semifinal number 2. Give me Atletico to win, over 3.5 goals, goal involvements for Griezmann and Gyökeres.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my man Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. We just had lunch the other day. We were talking about how long we've known each other. It's almost 30 years. We became friends in 1999. You could do the math. We're coming up on about 27 years, right? And I am an 11-time customer, so we're going to do a math problem. How much money have I saved? 11 different mortgages with Miller Lending. Let's do an average of about $5,000 in closing costs. That's about $55,000, is it not? Then how much I saved each time I refinanced? 8 of those are refis. 3 of them are original home purchases. 8 of them are refis. On average, I've saved about $200 a month on my refinances. I'm sorry, I can't do that math. There's too many months in the last 27 years of friendship. The last time I refinanced, I saved over $300 a month. It was about 4 years ago. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 250-2146.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. Join me and my co-host Chris Lee from WREL TV as our podcast Panthers Playbook rolls on this offseason, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Carolina Panthers news as we break down the NFL draft, insights on free agents and prospects, plus all the inside information on the offseason. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 984-207-6220 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 984-207-6220 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 984-207-6220 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 984-207-6220.
The way I describe it for people is my dad shot himself and the bullet hit everyone in his life. It was a week before my 30th birthday, and I had this impulse to call him, but I didn't because I thought I could call him later that week.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. With safe gun storage, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Charlie did not die from an overdose. Charlie was poisoned.
No other family should go through this. It's just horrific.
Go to safe.pharmacy. Use the free tool. Learn if the online pharmacy you're using is safe.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
My understanding of the betting timeline is that it started when he arrived at Indiana in 2022. He wasn't betting, thousands of dollars a game. This was, balls and strikes, small stuff, the kind of things, quite frankly, kids his age do. Like when I walk through the crowd in game day to go do one of my injury hits, people just scream like a random tailback. What do you think? Plus minus 78 yards today. Like that is how that age and that generation consume sports. They view it through their own personal prism of, I have a bet on this guy on this team. How will that unfold?
It's Pete Thamel from ESPN. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin producing the program today. Still in a holding pattern. We don't know when Carolina's next playoff round will start. I haven't talked a ton of Canes today. I got random thoughts on some Hurricane stuff. Darin Gantt's going to join us from Panthers.com. We'll talk with him in about 15 minutes. Draft is over. Now we're just waiting for things like, rookie camp or mini camps, those things to start. And what are we, 2 months away? 2 months away? 2.5 months away from the start of training camp? It's like beginning of July, right? Maybe mid-July? No, because they play in the Hall of Fame game, don't they? Panthers play in the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, so they'll have to start up a little bit earlier this year.
Oh, even better. Even be hotter. Hotter for longer. Even better. Although right now, we should start training camp now because it's nice and cool here in the capital city. I am Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. We're on YouTube. Go to YouTube. You can watch the show there. You can put comments in the chat. You can also subscribe to the show. We would appreciate you doing that. Lots of stuff to do right now. Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right. I have to go back to the top, do I not? Because I put a whole bunch of stuff down here. I'm just asking Max questions. Whatever the new one is, we're gonna play Rod Brindamore from today. And there's some stuff from yesterday that I think is worth hearing. But after practice today, here is your head coach.
Talking about Nikishin here. About
Alexander Nikishin coming back.
About his progression.
They said right away he didn't really have a lot of symptoms. So I think I think he's feeling good. And whatever he's got to do to get tested or whatever, it's going along in the right direction.
I know that there was some pushback on social media, shock. Coming out of the game on Saturday, Nikishin got concussed. He left the game. Obviously, we saw what happened. And we saw what his condition looked like as he was leaving the ice. He was out on his feet. But reports, and our friend Corey Lavalette was in the locker room after the game and said that Nikishin looked normal, celebrating with the team. And, of course, we all know the nature of the injury. We also know how easily you can relapse when it's a concussion and it looks severe. So immediately as Corey says that, blah, 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 head injury. You're right. Nobody should make any assumptions. Corey wasn't making any assumptions, but you can report what you see, and what Corey saw was he appeared okay, and that we should encourage that. Nobody would rush Alexander Nikishin back into action before he is ready. There's no way the Hurricanes would do that. They didn't do that with Andrei Svechnikov in year one after getting knocked out by Alexander Ovechkin in the third game of the first round. Now, he came back before the conference finals, but still, he was out for a good, he was probably gone for 2 weeks. That's okay. It's all right. So if Nikishin is not ready to start the playoff round two, I mean, it seems like he will be, but if he's not ready, he's not ready. They're not going to rush him back. Rod also did talk about the fact that Nick Ehlers they are encouraged by his progress, and Rod thinks he'll be ready to start round 2 as well. He did not practice today. So Carolina lined up exactly the way they lined up in Ottawa for Game 4. So in practice, Nick Delorier took the spot of Will Carrier on the 4th line. Carrier took Ehlers' spot, playing with Stahl and Martin, which is fine. That line was always good anyway. It's just a different line than it is when Nick Ehlers is there. A little bit more from Rod yesterday because, and I talked about this with Roy Cooper earlier. I mentioned it at other times during the show. If you're Carolina, Max, you can speak to this too. It's certainly cool if Philadelphia-Pittsburgh goes 7. But I do think it puts Carolina at a competitive disadvantage if they play Game 7 on Saturday and the Hurricanes series starts Monday. Whoever wins that series is in a rhythm of playing. And it's not like you're playing the next day. I would rather be in the rhythm of playing than having not played for 10 days. And that's essentially where Carolina would be. Not having played a game, and it's actually 9 days. Still, I'm not a fan of that. That doesn't mean you lose the game, but am I crazy? That it gives a little bit of a competitive edge to the team that is coming off of Game 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trade-off, right? Especially when you have the injuries that Carolina has. Like, you want a little bit of time for those guys to recover, but at the same time, like, you were playing really well. Now you have a long layoff.
Yeah.
You have seen sometimes in the past, they don't always play the best coming off of a bunch of days off.
Correct.
So it's the, like, age-old sports debate, like, will never die, rest versus rust. And I don't even know if there's a definitive answer, but all I know is I want the second round to start because I'm tired of waiting around to see them play again.
It's about us. It's not about them. It's about us. I want to watch a hockey game that I have a vested interest in. Although Montreal, Tampa tonight will certainly whet the appetite. Rod Brindamore, does he prefer rest or rust?
Kind of depends, I guess. We'll see. I mean, obviously, you like having a few days for sure to heal some bumps and bruises, but playing pretty well, pretty dialed in. You run the risk of being a little rusty, but it's out of your control.
It is. And look, I think Rod is 100%. He hates the layoff. He's always nervous first game back after a long layoff. Always. And I don't think that'll change. Also, did Rod hear at all people picking against Carolina? Not that it matters. Did Rod hear it?
I did. I mean, you watch it a little bit. I tried not to watch the people talk about the picking this and that. Who cares, right? Like, what has zero impact on what we're doing. And so, whatever, pick whoever you want. We know we're picking us, and that's what matters.
I wonder, did everybody in the Hurricanes locker room pick the Hurricanes? I bet they did. I bet it was unanimous.
I hope so, or else we're running into some Brendan Sorsby,
exactly.
Pete Rose, some issues there.
Well, no, they always bet on themselves. Pete Rose never bet on the Reds to lose.
Then maybe Joe Jackson.
Brendan
Shoeless
Sorsby.
Joe Jackson.
Brendan Sorsby always bet on Cincinnati to win. What were the best takeaways that he got from round 1?
Well, there was a lot of real positive. Obviously the winning in every game is huge. I think the way we played, I thought, real consistent, like from start to finish of every game. It was just the same, and everybody was dialed in. And you're not always going to win those games, but it gives you a chance to win every night. And obviously, that's what happened.
Here's what's interesting. Like, I'm not concerned about people picking against Carolina at all. What I have found fascinating, if you consume, whether it's because especially if you're on social media, the algorithms give you videos. So I'm getting a ton of videos from Sportsnet in Canada or TSN in Canada, and the conversations about the Hurricanes and the Senators and that series. Even the people who are the best at it cannot shake the past. Well, this is what the Hurricanes always do. Hurricanes always win round one. Hurricanes always seem to go 2 rounds deep in the playoff, win 2 rounds in the playoff. That's not true, by the way. They have in 2 of the last 3 years, yes. But it's as though they don't allow that this team is different. They are still assigning last several years, Carolina's team and the impressions that they have left to this year's team. What I have been saying for a while, Max, you may agree or not, this team is different from past teams. This team is tougher. This team is not going to be bullied. They're not bigger. In some cases they are. In some places, yeah. I mean, Nikishin, and you mentioned Keandre Miller, right? But I think this team has more of a grit factor, a tenacity that those other teams did not have. Did Carolina have a line last year like Stankoven, Blake, and Hall?
No, not really.
No, not at all. They had those players were all there. But that line? Wow. I wouldn't want to. That is a line I would not want to play against. 2 little guys and a veteran who is like, I don't know, dipped his toe in the fountain of youth.
Former MVP as well.
The team is different. My only fear coming out of a 9-day layoff. Can we get Freddie back to what he was against Ottawa?
But it's also good that he gets the rest.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe even Game 4 they might let Bussy get a start just to maybe preserve Freddie a little bit, get Bussy a little bit of that playoff experience.
Right.
But I'm never gonna complain about them riding the hot hand and getting the win. And now it's a long layoff anyway. He still gets to rest for basically a week and a half before playing again. So I mean, hopefully he'll be able to be sharp when he comes back. But I mean, if all the games he played in the first round are any indication, he should be locked in.
The thing that, because I thought, and Roy Cooper mentioned this, because he and I talked about this a week ago, I would have started Bussy in Game 3. I know it was 2 days off, but Game 2, 4.5 periods of hockey, there was a lot of work for Freddie, and I was thinking about Game 4 as much as I was thinking about Game 3, rather have Bussy go Game 3, and Freddie with an extra day and a half off coming back in Game 4. Because I was thinking about this is going to be a long series. But Game 3 was a low-event game. There just wasn't a lot of work for Anderson to do. He made 21, I think it was 21 saves. But he really only had to make 2 big saves. The save on Patterson 5-on-3, a very comfortable save, low, right next to the post. And then the save on Brady Tkachuk, when Tkachuk was gifted the puck and he came in alone. Those are the only 2 saves he had to make. He gave up the Patterson goal, which was, Carolina got the primary assist, I thought, on that. But that was it. So it was a low-event game. So I thought at that point, roll him back out there. He's ready to go. And he was great again. I mean, Freddie Anderson was amazing in the series. 4-0, .955 save percentage. I just don't know how you can ask any more. And he allowed a terrible goal. All of that and an awful goal. It's all good, man. He goes in Game 1. If he plays well, he goes in Game 2. I assume we'll see Brandon Bussy at some point. I really do. I just don't know when that is. When we come back, Darin Gantt, Panthers.com. We will talk about the Panthers draft, what he liked about it, where we go from here next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's time for our 2 o'clock keyword in our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. This hour's keyword is SCORE. Text SCORE to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to a Round 2 Stanley Cup playoff game in Raleigh and help us sound the siren. Again, this hour's keyword is SCORE. Text the keyword to 919-860-5326 right now. Good luck from 99.9 The Fan, your official audio home of the Carolina Hurricanes.
If you are beyond ready for the weekend and in need for some motorcycle therapy, you're in luck because we're halfway there. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and sometimes Wednesdays are just the toughest days of the week. But maybe you've been thinking about that ride to the beach this weekend or maybe up to the mountains and checking off that to-do list as we get closer. While you're checking off that list, it's always smart to keep in mind what could happen while you're on the road. If you're ever in an accident on your motorcycle, make sure to call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, so they get it. They know the value of your bike and your gear and the investment that you've made. They know what it's like to go through an accident, and case evaluations are always going to be free, so you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd. To the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
It's bow time. There's something special about the first bite of a Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit. Like an edible alarm clock that slaps you awake with bold Cajun flavor. The moment you sink your teeth into that soft, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit, then strike gold with a juicy piece of fried chicken, you'll know. Nothing beats the first bite. Except the second first bite. Get a Cajun Filet biscuit combo today at Bojangles. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit. Enjoy a Cajun fried filet tucked inside a hot made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Make it a combo and add your choice of fixin' and legendary sweet tea. And remember, Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuits are served all day, every day. Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Giving your child their first phone is an important and often difficult decision. After all, it is a milestone in your child's development. The Phone Ready quiz from the American Academy of Pediatrics can help make this decision easier. Go to healthychildren.org/Phone Ready quiz to take a short questionnaire that'll help you decide if you and your child are ready, almost ready, or not yet ready for their first phone. Go to healthychildren.org/Phone Ready quiz today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Turtle cake? Like, what do we... What?
Isn't that an ice cream?
What? Where's the confetti cake? Because, hello, confetti cake, delicious. With the little, I don't even know if it's real, but the little dots in the icing, like...
None of these are real.
What kind of fake thing that is, but it's delicious. It's my childhood. Like, that wasn't in the top 10. His opinion's invalid to me.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Expecting very soon, coming days, maybe a week, that the NCAA tournament will expand officially to 76 teams. We're also waiting for, at some point during the summer, to hear about 5 years, to play 5 years. Those are all college things. And by the way, some of those will be challenged in a court of law and probably struck down because the NCAA doesn't do well in courts of law. I have no great transition from that comment to welcoming in Darin Gantt, Panthers.com, who joins us on the Adam Gold Show. How are you, sir? And that's probably good that I don't have a good transition for that.
I was going to say, I also don't do well in courts of law. It's not a good scene for me, Gold. It's usually by the time I get there, something's gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, none of us have done well. We just basically say, I was driving to, I didn't realize I was going over the speed limit. You're off. It was faulty equipment.
That's right, something like that. It was, but no, it's okay. Sometimes it's good to go in cold. You have to think about it. It's like it's like drafting in the NFL. You got to think on your feet. You're always on. You just don't know it yet.
All right, let's talk about that. I mean, look, I think you know me well enough. I'm not necessarily one to heap tons of praise on the local football team, but I've been saying this for a while that I thought going into the draft that this was the move to make. To draft maybe a left tackle in the future. I don't know if they're going to use Monroe Freeling at left tackle right away, or certainly not right away, but if the plan is to have him there in the future. But what is your read on what Dan Morgan and company did in round one?
Well, it's like they say in court, the best time to find a left tackle is when you're not looking for one. No, and I think that situation kind of presented itself. Listen, obviously with the Ike Ekwonu injury, that was a thing that was going to be on the list with or without the Rasheed Walker signing. I mean, Rasheed's a good player, really good player.
Yeah.
I thought he was one of the real bright spots of free agency. It's like to be able to get that guy at that point, at that price was huge for them. But now you've got somebody who you've got – 5 years of contractual control for instead of one, a guy who's 21, a guy who's 6'7". I went down the tail of the tape the other day, Adam, and this guy is younger than Jordan Gross. He's taller than Jordan Gross. He runs faster than Jordan Gross. His arms are longer than Jordan Gross. It's like plus value Jordan, and Jordan was the comp that came to my mind when I watched Monroe. I mean, because being a gentleman of certain age, you also remember the 2003 draft. And when Jordan came to the Carolina Panthers, it wasn't to be the immediate starter at left tackle. Todd Stussy was still standing in that spot. So Jordan spent a year on the right, and it happened to be a Super Bowl run. And I think the opportunity is there somewhere for Monroe to get in there and play some this year. I mean, he'll compete with Rasheed for that starting job on the left, I'm sure, once we get to training camp. But, boy, I just see a lot of those same traits. I mean, big, long, athletic, young guy, who's still got a lot of room to develop and get stronger as a player. And you saw that with Jordan. So I think once you get the guy in the building and he spends a full season and then an off season getting himself stronger, you're going to see a pretty good Monroe right now, and then you're going to see a better version of it next year once he's had that full offseason.
Darin Gantt, Panthers.com, is joining us here. And one of the reasons I wanted to see a left tackle of the future is because, I'm not out on Ike Ekwonu as a Panther. I never thought that Ike Ekwonu was an elite left tackle to protect the blind side of Bryce Young. I always thought maybe he's the future at right tackle. I don't know what the thought process is, and we're coming off a very tricky knee injury to return from, and the patella injury.
Right.
So could Ike Ekwonu's future be as the next version of Taylor Moton?
It's possible. I mean, the current version of Taylor Moton's still playing pretty good football.
Right.
And he's turning 32 in training camp, which is older but not ancient. I mean, it's not unreasonable. I think the big deal is the uncertainty. I mean, because of the timing of that injury, you just feel terrible for Icky.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's his patella tendon, it's his financial future. But for that to happen when it did, when he's playing on that option year of his rookie deal, I mean, it's reasonable to think that was going to be one of the main items on the off-season to-do list is something for Icky. And so I just think that it's terrible timing for him, but the uncertainty of it all. I mean, you don't know how long it's going to take to get back on the field. You don't know what he's going to look like when he gets back on the field. There are players who come back in Niner or 10 months, and there are guys who have been a year out, and it's not ever the same. So I think that uncertainty plays into it. And, now you've got not only a pretty good player, but cost certainty for 5 years. And that's something you need. I mean, because as you think about building this thing out long term, they, officially picked up the option on Bryce's contract today, which is, going to change the math in a lot of ways. And now you've got, when you've got that situation, having that kind of price control at left tackle is always a good thing.
All right. Now, I read at Panthers.com the story about picking up the fifth-year option on Bryce Young. I have been very pro Bryce Young from the beginning, even though year one was a disaster. It didn't start well, even in
not of his making.
Right, 100%.
I think it's fair to add that.
A collective disaster in many ways. Really, he had no chance. And this is part of the reasoning that I was still pro Bryce, even through the trials and tribulations of year two. And even when in year three it didn't look great early on. I am still very much pro Bryce, but I am also very much of the mind that we still haven't, we still don't know what he's going to be, because I think we haven't seen, has he had back-to-back 200-yard passing games? No. He did not have that at all last year. What do you think of where Bryce Young should be, let's say, middle of the year?
Here's what I think about Bryce. I mean, Bryce to me is a guy who is still getting better. You know what Bryce Young is? He's the youngest quarterback in the NFC South.
He is.
I mean, he's younger than Penix. He's younger than Tua. He's younger than Tyler Shuck, who came into the league off his parents' insurance. He's certainly younger than Baker. I mean, he's and because of that, I think it's easier for me to view Bryce as, still an unfinished player, still an ascending player. And again, that first year, we can just chalk that up. That one doesn't count for anybody anymore. So to see the progress he made over the second half of 2 years ago, and then over the course of last year too, I mean, it's like he continued to get better. I keep those stats about second half or fourth quarter comebacks and game winning drives stick in my mind. I mean, he's shown to be able to do that part, which is ostensibly the hard part. And so that to me buys him time for all the other stuff. I mean, the consistency and all those kind of things. I mean, I think, sure, yes, valid points you made. I mean, but at the same time, he's already checked the hard boxes off. He's shown resilience. He's shown to be able to do it at a high level late in games. And that's usually one of the last thing guys pick up. So, the fact that all his neighbors at that position in the division are so much older than him, along with that kind of late game vibe he's shown, I mean, to me makes it, less important that he be a finished product today. But he also, I mean, to that point, adding a Monroe Freeling, adding a Teteroa McMillan last year plays into that too. I mean, this thing's growing around him as he goes. So I think he's still unfinished, and signs remain promising.
Yeah, and which is why it was proper, I thought, for Carolina, pick up the fifth-year option, not necessarily tie it to a long-term deal yet, because I think
plenty of time to decide.
In this year, I think we will find out what Carolina has going forward. Plus, talk to me about the continuity of third year with the same head coach. There will be a different play caller, but I don't know how much different it's going to be. It's still going to be the same offense. What is the benefit to having Dave Canales not be the primary play caller? He's going to have influence because he's the head coach. But what is the benefit to not having Canales call the plays?
Well, Dave gets to coach the whole football team now. And he's talked about, there being situations over the last couple of years where he's thought, okay, I was already thinking about next play instead of do I challenge this or what's happening in game situation,
right.
Clock stuff, that kind of thing. So I think as we go through that and see how he develops as somebody who's transitioning into that CEO role, I mean, listen, it's still going to be – they're still singing out of the same hymnal, okay? The tone might be a little bit different, but the words are all going to be the same. And I think that part of it, to your point about continuity, is big because, again, how many times do you see quarterbacks go through 3 years in the NFL, going into number 4, or 3 years in the NFL with the same guy in his ear? I mean, it's exceedingly rare.
Right.
So even in places where they have that kind of success, I mean, up in Buffalo, we go from, your play callers, now your head coach. I mean, those are the things that happen in the NFL. So I think there is a continuity with Brad Idzik being the guy. He hears in his ear. He's heard that voice in his ear a lot already and, has worked with him. So I think it can help. But I just think it gives Canales an opportunity at more of a global perspective, which, can't be a bad thing. The other thing you got to keep in mind is there's still a Darrell Bevel around, and he's a resource for both Dave and Brad. So I think adding that to the offensive coaching staff and still having all the same characters in place, that's a good thing.
Darin Gantt, Panthers.com, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Real quick, before I let you go, the other side of the ball, defensively, I love the Lee Hunter pick because they needed, especially if you're going to let some players go that went. You need somebody. A'Shawn Robinson. I was drawing a blank on the whole name because I'm old. I forget names all the time. But I like that.
I won't let you go into court unrepresented. I got you.
Thank you very much. That guy looks like an absolute monster.
Yeah. I mean, when you see that guy on tape, it's like, yeah, okay, go get you one of them and stick next to Derek Brown. I think that changes the way you look at the front. I mean, he's a different athlete. Lee's a different athlete than A'Shawn was. Probably not as much of a pass rusher, at least early, but he's a guy who's got a little pop. I mean, you see, I love scouting cliches and things people say to try to pretend they know more about football than they do. You hear people talk about heavy hands.
Right.
When you hit somebody and they go backwards, that's a good thing. And he's got him a little bit of that. So he's just the kind of size. I mean, and it adds to that mix because you already, you were missing A'Shawn and didn't necessarily replace him with a like-for-like in free agency. And Lee's not a like-for-like for A'Shawn. But when you add to that mix alongside Bobby and Turk, I think it just gives Derek an opportunity to continue to grow. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's already pretty good and still getting better. We've seen Derek Brown add to the toolbox each of the last couple of years. And I just think keeping people around him just allows him to be the best version of himself. So it's a good one.
I love the fact that at least at the first two levels, the Panthers definitely improved the roster in the first two levels, whether it's Phillips or Lloyd. We're talking about Hunter as well. The one thing we don't know how much better they got on the back end. We know the two corners. Mike Jackson had a dynamite year last year. I think they're certainly good. We'll see if whether it's Will Lee or the safety they drafted late. We'll see if those guys materialize into useful pieces on the back end, but they certainly got better at the front seven.
Yeah, well, and listen, here, I think this is the biggest thing for the Carolina Panthers. We're talking about third corners and possibly a starting safety instead of quarterbacks and left tackles and defensive. And, they've checked off a lot of boxes already, so they've kind of strengthened the roster to the point where you spend your second and third days of the draft looking for those complementary pieces rather than big franchise cornerstones. I mean, Dan's done a pretty good job of raising the floor for the entire roster, and it's getting harder to make. I mean, there were conversations, we'll get to the behind-the-scenes draft story soon on Panthers.com, but I think there were conversations along the way where they were saying, okay, if we take this guy instead of this guy, does he dress on game days?
Right.
And that's And that's not a conversation the Carolina Panthers were having 2 years ago, let me tell you. So he's done a good job of raising the entire roster and making the whole thing better. And I think you've seen the results of that out there on the field.
Darin Gantt, Panthers.com, at Darin Gantt with 2 T's for extra talent on Twitter. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate your time. Is Bruno Mars setting up?
It's either him or Bruno Sammartino. I'm not sure. It's one or the other. One of the Brunos has changed the traffic pattern around Bank of America Stadium. So it's going to be a big night. People are all fired up.
Are you going?
I'm not going to be. Does it sound bougie to say I've seen him at a Super Bowl? Does it?
Oh, you've seen him at a Super Bowl. Well, he's done multiple Super Bowls.
That's right. So, I've seen Bruno, so It's not the bucket list item for me. It is for other people. I am thinking about going to see the Nude Party Sunday night at the Neighborhood Theater here in Charlotte. That's a cool little rock and roll band you ought to check out one of these days. Good Boys from Boone, North Carolina.
Love Good Boys from Boone. At one point, I thought you were talking about something completely different. I'm glad you explained what that was. So I thank you very much.
That's right. We can't get hauled into court over this appearance, Adam.
You're a gentleman. I appreciate your time. Darin Gantt, Panthers.com. All right, talk to you soon, man. He's awesome. All right, when we come back, a little rewind. We'll talk a little bit about the Hurricanes. A problem that, in my opinion, didn't need fixing is going to be fixed. Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Have you ever considered a career as a public power line worker? Public power line workers use a variety of specialized skills to build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system. As a public power line worker, you can expect a career that allows you to work close to home, a safety record superior to other energy providers, and training and apprenticeship opportunities. Learn more about public power and careers in public power at electricities.com.
Every day, people battling addiction suffer in silence. Because of stigma, they fear judgment, they fear being labeled, and too often, they don't get the help they need. But you can help change that. Join the Governor's Institute and be a superhero in the Overdose Battle campaign. Learn how to break the stigma, support those in need, and save lives. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero to get involved. Be a hero, fight stigma, save a life.
AmeriHealth Caritas North Carolina is with you on your health journey and helping you over life's bumps in the road. We're a Medicaid managed care plan with extra benefits like adult vision care and weight loss memberships. Plus, earn rewards for healthy activities on our care card. We make care the heart of our work. Let's go. Visit AmeriHealth Caritas North Carolina at AmeriHealthCaritasNC.com or call 1-855-375-8811.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
This April, during Line Worker Appreciation Days, we celebrate our hometown heroes, the public power line workers who keep our communities powered and connected. From powering homes and businesses to restoring service after storms, public power line workers show up every day, rain or shine, to keep the lights on in the communities they serve. Join us in saying thank you to these dedicated, skilled professionals by visiting electricities.com/thankalineworker.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
The American Cornhole League. I don't know if you can wager on it. I mean, just go to FanDuel and find out if you can wager on it.
I think I read you can get a scholarship. Kids in high school can actually get scholarships for cornholing. Who knows? I don't know what the technical term is.
I'm just not going to say anything.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Max scoring on the ones and twos today. We'll get into a rewind in a little bit. So, apparently, not apparently, the NBA has felt for many, many years that it has a tanking problem. I'm not sure why the NBA would be worse than the NFL or any other sport. Which, let me ask Max, is there a tanking problem in the NBA?
There's just so many teams that are so bad. Like maybe they just have too many teams.
Well, I don't know the answer to that. I don't
maybe they just don't need a draft lottery because, like you mentioned, like the NFL doesn't have a tanking problem and they just don't have a lottery.
If you're the worst team, you get the first pick. Right, that's how it works. Maybe it's easier to turn around an NBA team if you get the right guy. Of course, I would point
fewer guys on the team. You can make more of an impact as a single player.
I would point out that the Dallas Mavericks are pretty bad, and they got the first pick and they had the Rookie of the Year in Cooper Flagg. The Hornets had the fourth pick and took Con Knippel. Here's my point: is that I just don't believe, like, you have a tanking problem if it impacts the integrity of the sport. Individual players, during the course of a game, I'm not going to say completely across the board because we obviously know differently. Players are not tanking games. When the game starts, everybody's trying to win the game.
Well, except Terry Rozier.
Well, like I said, it's not 100% across the board. But basically, everybody's trying to win the game. So the only reason why you would be really concerned about tanking is if it was messing with the integrity of that particular game. Like we know, I mean, how many teams do load management? Are those teams tanking those games too? Like they're obviously intentionally not putting their best players out there for competitive reasons. They're trying to save them for other games. I get it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I understand it. Like, I think the NBA has essentially invented a problem that does not exist. And I'm not sure why, because in the history of basketball, and I think you could say this about other sports too, I'm not sure intentionally losing has ever worked out. It just hasn't. Remember Honor the Process of the Philadelphia 76ers, who had the first pick in the draft or maybe the second pick in the draft, like, I don't know how many straight years or 3 out of 4 years?
I think they only ended up They only got one first overall, right? Because Embiid was like third.
Embiid was third, but the
Ben
whole idea
Simmons,
was
they had Fultz too,
to
and that didn't work out. Yeah,
suck for as long as you can because you were stockpiling great draft picks. Well, Joel Embiid certainly has worked out, except he can't stay healthy. Ben Simmons did not. Markelle Fultz did not. In fact, no team has been successful in the NBA anyway, in terms of ultimately turning themselves into a great team based on intentionally losing. Like setting yourself up where you just can't win. No team has been successful that way. So if there is a team out there that wants to lose, let them. Because you pay for it. The damage that you do to yourself is way worse than the actual losing. Bobby Marks from ESPN covers the NBA, and we can talk about what the NBA has done in terms of flattening the draft lottery odds. Hey, the worst three teams don't get the best chance at the first pick. Is if what they have designed is going to pass, like you actually have like a 5.7% chance if you're one of the worst three teams, but an 8.1% chance if you're 4 through 10. You can game that too. You can absolutely game that. Here's Bobby Marks from ESPN.
It's not going to be perfect, and I think, listen, we hit a little bit of a perfect storm just based on this year's draft. The next 2 years, 27 and 28, are not projected to be very good. And less teams have protections on picks. So I think we're probably doing a lot of this just based on this year. And usually there'll be a little bit of collateral damage, and we'll see how that unfolds in the future years.
This is a lot of ado about nothing.
Yeah. I think the big thing for me is I think they either need to greatly reduce or just get rid of pick protections. Because it gets so complicated too, like with the Hornets this year, right? They have a second first-round pick, and it's like the worst of like the Magic and the Suns and this or that, but if this team doesn't make the playoffs, then it conveys the next year. It's all very convoluted. I think if you trade your pick, you trade your pick. And if it ends up being the first overall pick, you lost the first overall pick. And that's just how it is.
Yeah. Like when the Hurricanes traded a pick to the Rangers to get Brady Shea. Turned out to be, was it the first overall pick or the second overall pick? It turned out to be who's that? He's on their team now. I'm drawing a blank on the
Capo Caco or
no.
Lafreniere.
Lafreniere. It turned out to be Lafreniere. Of course, in that same draft, the Hurricanes took Seth Jarvis, who better than.
Yeah, we got the better end of that deal for sure.
Absolutely. But it really just speaks to like the draft in any sport being an inexact science. Like we're doing a lot of complaining over something that really doesn't impact anything. The NBA, I'm not saying that the NBA has bigger problems to solve and they might. I don't know if they do, but to me, this is not. It's not a solution because people are still going to do that to set themselves up. Like if you were the 11th, like outside of that 4 through 10, but you wanted the best spot. I mean, you could lose a couple of games late and end up in 4 through 10. Like it doesn't, none of it really makes any great sense to me, but I don't think this is the problem that people think it is, that the NBA thinks it is. Again, unless we're talking about an integrity of the game situation. Franchises that lose on purpose, that set it up where they're going to lose, you lose fans. Fans don't want to support a team that does not win. They want to be able to go to a game and know that the team is going to try and that they have a chance to win. Otherwise, why go? It's money. So you lose on the front end and the back end if you tank. That should be the only incentive you need. All right, let's do a little bit of a rewind. Top story of the day. The NCAA Tournament will, as soon as they get the vote in the whatever committee has to vote on it at the NCAA level, it will expand to 76 teams. Chip Patterson, Cover 3 podcast, CBSSports.com. What say you?
I will take the more games. I am not yet convinced that they are prepared to, put this in a way that is going to be, fair. Like, there will be implications from however they mess up with the bracket, right?
Yeah.
Like, I am a little bit of the golden bracket, believer. Just the idea that 4 quadrants of 16 perfectly plays out. And it just, I enjoy the symmetry of it all. And we're messing with that. We are turning this into far more convoluted of a process. So, like, personally, I find NCAA tournament expansion, it's unappealing. I think it's gaudy. I think it's pretentious. I think it insists upon itself. I think that we didn't really need all of this, and I just, professionally, more basketball, fine. I'm good with more basketball. These are all things that I enjoy. So I will take more games on Tuesday and Wednesday of what is already a sleepless and chaotic week after a sleepless and chaotic week.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think they needed it.
No, here's what's funny about the whole thing. It brings out emotions on both sides. But even the people who are vehemently against it, I haven't heard any of them say that they're going to ruin the game. All they're saying is, why fix something that doesn't need fixing? It, in and of itself. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say that the NCAA tournament is perfect, because perfect to me would be clean 64 teams. 16 teams, each region, no first 4. That would be perfect. That's what we had. And then we had a field of 65, and we had the 2 lowest rated 16 seeds play for the 1 spot. And then we expanded it by, 3 to get to 68. And now we're going to add 8 more teams. All right. All you're doing is making it bigger. You're not making it better. And I don't get why you would take something that is already fantastic, arguably the best sporting event on earth. You can make arguments for other things. That's why I said arguably. I just don't understand why you would take this and make it not better, just bigger. If you were also making it better, I get it. But you're not, and you know it. And those people advocating for it are simply saying, well, why wouldn't you want to give kids the opportunity? Because that's not why you're doing it.
Because their team's not good enough to get in.
Shouldn't it,
Nobody wanted to see, Indiana and Oklahoma in the tournament this year.
Well, Indiana and Oklahoma did. But here's what's going to happen. Once we do this, 76, well, what's the difference between 76 and 80? I mean, that's the same argument. It's the exact same argument. What's the difference between 76 and 84?
Let's just get to around 128.
I mean, what's the difference? We'll always do that if we're doing this.
It's just like college football.
Yes. Speaking of which, Chip and I talked about the fact that basketball isn't the only sport that's in expansion mode.
I mean, I also think we have to look at it from college sports as a whole and just understand that we're just in expansion season.
Right.
We expanded all of our conferences, and unfortunately, the Big Ten and the SEC got positive reinforcement for what that led to.
Right.
Led to more money, better television revenue, all of these wonderful opportunities, all of these championships. Adam, the Big Ten might win the national championship in baseball. Are you kidding?
Well,
I did not know this until recently. But the idea that
Oregon
we
or
might
UCLA?
be looking at right after they finally snapped their basketball drought.
Right.
I mean, so they are seeing positive reinforcement of conference expansion. The college football playoff expanded to 12, and everybody seemed okay with it. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to be on our way to 24. So from the broader college sports view, I'm not going to waste too much of my energy trying to step in front of a locomotive that is expansion, but I do think that it is excessive. And in an era of excess and expansion, it's not that surprising.
That's what we're doing. We're not making things better. Now, if you wanted to argue that 24, let's not go to 24. If you want to argue that 16 is better than 12 or that 16 is better than 4, I get that argument whether I disagree with it or not. You can make good points that a college football playoff as it is currently constructed is better than 4. All right. Whether I disagree with it or not, I hear it. There are zero arguments, none valid, that make a 76-team tournament better than 68. None. It's just bigger. If you'll admit that, maybe we can be friends. Not better, just bigger. All right, Max, who wins tonight? Montreal, Tampa.
Let's say Tampa wins it at home, and Montreal forces 7, winning Game 6 at home whenever that game is.
Braden point in overtime for plus 5,000. Pittsburgh, Philly.
Flyers, close it out.
Flyers close it out. I'm rooting for Pittsburgh just for the schadenfreude of all of it. Utah, Vegas?
Give me Utah. Upset on the road.
They're fun, aren't they? Utah's fun. Vegas is my pick to win the West. I want to go to Vegas for the Stanley Cup Finals. Bye.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code.